Hello everyone, welcome to the re-recording of the second SCP stream that was done, because back when I first did the first three of these, I did not think to upload them to YouTube because I didn't think they were that popular or wanted to be rewatched. I was wrong. So, yeah. Last SCP stream we did the first bunch of re-recordings. This time we're going to be doing the second bunch, which is a total of 10 SCPs, and we might overrun a bit because there's at least a couple of fairly long ones in here. There's a very, very long one, as I recall, as well. But there's also a couple of really good ones because I've pre-loaded every single one of the ones we're going to be reading, and I got reminded on a couple of them. And one of them being, oh, those Russians. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose it at that. I'm probably going to, laugh my ass off again. So yeah, that's our plan for today. I have not been doing any of the other things I need to be doing because new banner's got brought out on Genshin. Well, got announced on Genshin, and yeah, characters I really want. So now I'm trying to spend as much free time as possible grinding out stuff so I could probably get those characters. Yay! See, announcements. Tomorrow's early stream is going to be the first we're doing of Transistor, which is going to be taking the place of the Nier streams until I can get my character on Final Fantasy XIV up to the Nier raids. I've gone a fair bit of the way through the post-patch content on Heaven's Ward, so it's going. I'm doing it more than I used to. The one-off game stream challenge is going on at the moment. The sibling stream is most likely going to be happening on Sunday, I believe, just after my stream that day. Be going into playing Castle Crashers with Jason Torian. It's going to be chaotic. Chaotic as all fuck. I actually think that's everything. Yeah, I cannot think of anything else I need to announce. In which case, I'm too used to that. Let's catch up on chat, whichever side you're looking at, and jump into things. First of all, congratulations on redeeming First DJ. You are officially the first. Hello, welcome Wigram. Thank you for the British recharge. It has just started steeping. Hello, welcome Ride. Hello, welcome Vesp. Best goes for a random quote and gets amount of grinding done far too much. Mood. I'm grinding stuff so much, like, oh. I'm fairly confident that I'm going to be able to take down this boss in Final Fantasy X come Thursday. Because I've done a lot of grinding. I've gotten both tits and balls to the end of Auron's path, and they've started on their own proper paths. Kimari has death. Yuna is working her way towards Ultima. Boobs has Curaga. Auron is doing Auron things. Not that impressive. I've got zombie-proof stuff on both Yuna and Auron, so they're going to be there starting off because that bullshit of a combo. So yeah, so hopefully on Thursday they'll all be done and we'll be able to get through. What I probably will do as well is before I start streaming is I will preload and go through the cutscene so that when I switch over to the stream window, we are just right there at the beginning of the boss battle. So I'm going to have to sit through that conversation all over again, but hopefully you won't have to. And hopefully we'll beat it first time and be done with it. Oh yeah, also in announcement, at some point this week I'm going to get interrupted during a stream, most likely, depending on what day it is, because they have a company in to investigate, well, not investigate, to inspect all the balconies in the complex. They're doing it on a building by building basis, and we are in theory going to be updated every single time they finish a building. So the plan is basically that when I get the notification that they've finished the building before mine, I'm going to take a very quick AFK to close doors and put cats in some form of detention. And then I will just wait and then go back to things. And when I hear the knock on the door, I will do an extended be right back while they do the inspection, and then done. So that might happen today. It might happen tomorrow. Don't know, because they've got to do... I think it's like 16 apartments per building. Something like that, because they're not doing the ground floor. It's only the first and second floors. There's usually 2 entrances to a building. Each entrance gives access to 4 apartments per level. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, 16. So around about 16 per things. Hopefully, with where I am in the building, I'll be one of the first that gets inspected when they come to this building. Just don't know when they're going to be coming to this building. Because it could take them a couple of hours or so to do each building, depending on what's going on. But yeah, I will let people know as soon as I know. I've got my email account open up so I can be constantly having a look at it to see what's going on. But yeah, that will happen at some point. Just don't know when. I mean, hey, it might even happen off stream. If it happens off stream, even better. But they do say they're going to be doing them between 9 AM and 5 PM my time, and it's 11 AM now. So we'll see. Oh yeah, plan for today as well. After doing this, however long it takes, we'll be raiding to Lydia when she's doing the Monster Hunter Rise community night. Most likely, anyway. Maybe, I don't know. She might be deciding to do something else instead, but that is the plan. So yeah, let's get back to catching up. DJ goes for a random quote. Gets, we all get compared to Mal in the end. Yeah. Hello, welcome, Daft. Hello, welcome, Lydia, lover of the Russian Queen. Exactly. Exactly. Best goes for a random quote and gets in my wet thrust. I mean, I'm fairly certain there's a fair few people here who would be quite happy to receive my wet thrusts. Sus. Don't know what you mean. Last goes for random quote and gets spelling what be that heresy. Yep. Don't call that quote. I don't know either. I do not know when that was. That was like towards the end of Final Fantasy IX. We can go to a random quote against if it's shit. That most likely is Dark Souls. Let's go to a random quote against another one by Widgren. He gave you a good stabbing. No, I know that there are a few people who have got quotes assigned to them in here. The majority of them are not that. So to be getting them, you know, that often without going for them, that's impressive. What's Final Fantasy IX? Probably was about a boss then, yeah. We've got Invader and other quotes, yes. Darth goes random quote and gets Trinagle by Nier. Yeah. Then he goes for random quote and gets how the diddly dick fucked, how do I get there? I do not know. I have no idea what that could have been. I really do not. Like, no, I really can't even think of it. We can go to a random quote and get I'd rather suck on my own from Mock. There's multiple ways that could be taken. Right. So that's everything caught up with. Let's go on into this. Oh god, actually. The amount of dicks flying around here, it could be anything. Thanks, Lydia. Thanks for that mental image. Now I'm just imagining, you know, dicks flying around and flapping with feathered wings. If it wouldn't be against Twitch TOS, I would actually, you know, ask if someone could draw that and animate it and just have, you know, a command to just have dicks fly across the screen like that. Oh god, a flock of wild dicks. Awful imagery. How dare. How dare I make you laugh? Right, okay, let's jump into things. We're starting off with SCP-999. I should probably actually say what we're going to be coming up with. We're going to be doing 999, 2935, 3973, 5522, 096, 5000, 4680, 2718, 085, and then finishing on 5500. I know that 5000 is a very long one, but it's also a very good one. So, yeah. Hopefully we'll get through them in a timely manner, and we will also not be overrunning too badly. SCP-8 we give it the Dix the Chaff treatment. Rocket dicks. Brainwide. What did Brain do, Lydia? You can run me over any day. I'm not sure how to respond to that, apart from, sure. Whatever floats your boat. And I'm very much happy to tickle your interests in any way. I don't know. Right. Item number, SCP-999, Object Class, Safe. Special containment procedures, 999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to, but otherwise must stay in its pen either between 8 PM to 9 PM for sleeping, or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or facility grounds at any time. Pen is to be kept clean and food replaced twice daily. All personnel allowed inside 999's holding area, but only if they are not assigned to other tasks at the time, or if they are on break. Subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. Brains on all rocket dicks hard pounding. You don't need rocket powers for just for hard pounding. If you do, then you're really doing it wrong. Description: 999 appears to be a large amorphous gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing about 54 kilograms, which is 120 pounds, with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. I immediately wonder, crunchy or smooth. Subject's size and shape is easy malleable and can change shape at will, though when at rest, 999 becomes a rounded, oblique dome roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The surface of 999 consists of a thin, transparent membrane similar to that of an animal cell, roughly 0.5 centimeters thick, and is highly elastic, allowing 999 to flatten a portion of its body up to 2 centimeters thin. This surface is also hydrophobic, although 999 can willfully absorb liquids, see Addendum 999-A. The rest of 999's body is filled with a viscous orange substance of unknown chemical makeup, though it is capable of digesting organic material with ease. A bit smooth. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. For some reason I want to eat SCP-999. You say that that's a new thing for you, DJ. Respond to a message. Subject's temperament is best described as playful and dog-like. When approached, 999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping upon them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods while nuzzling the person's face with a third pseudopod, all the while emitting high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises. It's essentially a non-shy version of Obsidian. The surface of 999 emits a pleasing odour that differs with whomever is interacting with it. Recorded scents include chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh. Precisely, Lydia, yes. Simply touching 999's surface can cause an immediate mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to 999, and lasts long after separation from the creature. Subject's favourite activity is tickle wrestling, often by completely enveloping a person from the neck down and tickling them until asked to stop, though it does not always immediately comply with this request. Though injuries may occur, 999 has never been found to purposefully attempt to harm others, and will immediately back away and contract its body into a quivering mound while gurgling in a manner similar to a whimpering dog, seemingly apologising for hurting someone on accident. While the creature will interact with anyone, it seems to have a special interest in those who are unhappy or hurt in any way. Persons suffering from crippling depression or PTSD, for example, have reported a far more positive outlook on life after multiple interactions with 999. The possibility of manufacturing antidepressants from 999 slime is currently being discussed. Good God, I've have a field day with me. You love 999. 999 is one of the lovely ones. Nice and fluffy one before everything gets wrong. In addition to its playful behaviour, 999 seems to love all animals, especially humans, refusing to eat any meat and even risking its own life to save others, on one occasion leaping in front of a person to take a bullet fired at them. Subject's intellect is up for debate, though its behaviour is infantile, it seems to understand human speech and most modern technology, including guns. 999's diet consists entirely of candy and sweets, with M&Ms and Necco wafers being its favourite. Its eating methods are similar to those of an amoeba. Oh, that reminds me, yeah, I've got more stream food. We went shopping and I picked up a couple of things that one was at Callie's suggestion, the other one was because I've heard them described so many times here, so I'll just grab them out so you know what's going to be in the American House. So we got those first. Those look awful. Those look absolutely awful. I'm probably going to hate it every second I have one of those in my mouth. That was Callie's suggestion. And the one that I picked up, because I recognised it from what has been said... There we are. Those also look awful. I'm going to hate every second. Any of those are in my mouth now. So what I'll do with those is basically... when someone redeems that, they can say which one they want me to have. Or if they want to leave it to random chance, I'll roll a dice. Just Majin Buu with 0 evil or shape stability. Pretty much, yeah. And there we go, Daft. Which one do you want? Thank you, Lydia and Ride, for the contributions to the One-Off Game Stream Challenge. And for some reason, Ride, I almost read your name out full. I was like, I never do that. Why is that coming into my head now? There's a... Oh, no, it is that. Roll for it. I mean, in fairness, there's 3 options here, so it's going to be 1 to 2 will be the Star Crunch, 3 or 4 will be fudge rounds, and 5 and 6 will be brownies. So we just bring up a wheel. Well, it's not actually a wheel to side, but okay, cool. Roll a d6. 3. It's a fudge round. This is honestly, out of everything that I've seen on that shelf, this is one of the ones I thought I'm really going to dislike the most. It looks like a condensed dog turd that's been cummed on. American snacking, best in the world, apparently. Oh my God, that's amazingly chocolatey smell-wise. Well, here goes. That has the consistency and texture of fucking styrofoam. It's got about as much chocolate taste as if someone said the word chocolate 3 rooms away. Oh, God. The worst thing about those is they look like they're supposed to be solid. Like, they look like a solid biscuit. Oh, sorry, for Americans, cookie. But it's not. It is soft. It is really soft. Oh, that is not for me. Like the choir, yeah, pretty much. You like the fudge rounds? Well, we'll get you some when you come over and visit the Vesp, and you can have all of them to yourself, because I ain't fucking touching them by choice. American snacking best in the world for those no taste and desire for the diabetes. It's very, very sugary is what it is. Oh. You like most of these things to watch him out because them is hilarious. Right, have you ever had a banana Twinkie? That has got to be the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. Like, literally. Out of all the American snacks I've tasted, the banana Twinkies are by far the worst. Twinkies are meh? Twinkies are indeed meh, Vesp. They really are. God, no, never in a million years. Yeah, it's, oh boy, it is not good. Like, if I had the choice, like, we had three types of Twinkie at once. There was the normal vanilla one, there was banana, and there was mixed berry. Of those three, mixed berry was the nicest, but still awful because it was a Twinkie. But the bread there is insanely sweet. Most bread types over here have a lot of sugar in them, yes. Or high fructose corn syrup. I purposefully get a loaf that has neither. So it's actually, actually good and not very bad for you. Alright, resuming this. Addendum 999-A. Reminder to all staff. 999 is not to consume caffeinated soft drinks of any kind. Last week someone gave 999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. Not only was it literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour, the carbonation made 999 visibly queasy afterwards, and it refused to move or eat the rest of the day. 999 has thankfully recovered since, but the staff member in question has been reprimanded. Can't handle the fizzy. Addendum 999-B. The following is a report from an experiment in which 682 is exposed to 999 in the hopes it will curb the creature's omnicidal rage. For those unfamiliar, 682 is the hate gator. (999) is released into 682's containment area. 999 immediately slurs towards 682. You have a terrible sweet tooth. Honestly, I'm not surprised. With the amount of sugar that's available easily in America, I can see why a lot of Americans I've met have a sweet tooth. I was given a measured amount of sugar as a child, but my parents were kind of like monitoring it quite carefully, so as a result, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I like the more bitter side of things. So anything that's meant to be sweet or sugary, I will immediately have a negative reaction to. Thank you, DJ, for your contribution to the one-off game stream challenge for homemade sweets. I actually don't think I've had those. Well, actually, no, those sour balls must have been homemade. Sweet and spicy. Give me all the spice. All of the spice and the bitter. Although, in fairness, combining sweet and spicy is very good, which is why I like having pineapple on my jalapeno pizza. You'll make Nutella chocolate chip cookies. And you and Callie can share those. Little gummy sweets, I think you have a sweet tooth. Yep, you do. Right. 999, elated gurgles. 682. What is that? 999 moves in front of 682, jumping up and down in a dog-like manner while calling out in high-pitched squealing noise. Disgusting. 682 immediately steps on 999, completely flattening 999. Observers were about to report the experiment when 682 started talking again. What is this? I feel good. 999 can be seen crawling up from between 682's toes, up and along its side and round its neck, where it clings on and begins gently nuzzling with its pseudopod. A wide grin slowly spreads across 682's face. 682 deeply chuckling. Feel so happy. 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 682 repeats the word happy for several minutes, laughing occasionally before escalating into non-stop laughter. As laughter continues, 682 rolls around on its back, slamming its tail upon the floor with dangerous force. 682, bellowing laughter, stop, no tickling, continues laughing. 682 and 999 continue the tickle fight until 682 finally wears down and appears to fall asleep with what would appear to be a smile on its face. After 15 minutes with no activity, 2 D-Class personnel enter the room to retrieve 999. When 999 is removed, 682 immediately wakes up and unleashes an unidentifiable wave of energy from its body, all while laughing maniacally. All persons within the wave's range collapse into crippling fits of laughter, allowing 682 to escape and slaughter all in its path. Meanwhile, 999 quickly rescues as many persons as it can, taking them to a safe place to recover from 682's laughter wave, while agents suppress and recontain 682. Despite the tragedy that 682 had brought upon the facilities, 999 has not shown any fear towards the creature, and in fact has made gestures suggesting it wants to play with 682 again. 682, however, has stated that feculent little unintelligible can data expunged and die. Memo from Dr. While the test was unsuccessful and ended in tragedy, that had to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. I never thought I'd see the day when I would regard 682 as cute. Please send me a copy of the security tapes ASAP. Wow. Mine's multiples chocolate bits, but hard to curb, at least have more fruits currently. That is entirely fair. I substitute any sugar cravings I get with fruit. Ooh. Strawberries for breakfast, and they've got another punnet in the fridge. Right, now that is that one done, we are on to SCP-2935. Oh, fuck, yeah, I know this one. Oh, this is a dark one. Item number 2935, Level 4 Secret. Containment class, Cater. Disruption class, Amida. Risk class, Caution. Assigned site, US Inbel Site 81. Site Director, J. Carlisle Actus. Research Head, S. Cole Sisson. Assigned Task Force, E13 Manifest Destiny. How do you feel about apple pie? Apple pie is one of my favourites. I used to make it. There's 99, thank you. Like, that is something I have to manually do, so 3973 is up next. Do love apple pie though. Really, really do like apple pie. Special containment procedures. The entrance of 2935 has been sealed with concrete and access to 2935 is forbidden. Excuse me. Description. 2935 is a space-time anomaly existing within a limestone cave beneath a cemetery near Joppa, Indiana. The cemetery, whose last interred individual died in 1908, was discovered by Foundation personnel after radio signals were discovered emanating from 2935. See Addendum 2935.1 below. The 2935 anomaly is a nearly exact replicate of reality of modern Earth in the year 2016, with the prime exception being that all life, including both biological and non-biological, as well as any sentient entities, machines, computers, and other lifelike phenomena within 2935 ended on April 20th, 2016. Information gathered by the Mobile Task Force who initially entered 2935 for reconnaissance purposes points to the conclusion that all life forms within 2935 suddenly and without warning expired sometime between the hours of 0300 and 0400 EST. The reason for this is currently uncertain. Addendum 2935.1 Discovery. On April 28, 2016, at roughly 0500 EST, a radio signal was detected by communications personnel at Site 81 near Bloomington, Indiana. The signal, though distorted and unintelligible, was traced to the unincorporated area of Joppa, Indiana, near US Interstate 70. Site 81 personnel in Indianapolis were dispatched to determine the source of the signal as per Foundation policy and discovered 2935 during their examination of the area. Upon initial entry into 2935, we have a footnote that says, by means of a standard remote surveillance drone. The aforementioned personnel were uncertain they had actually discovered an anomaly, instead believing their drone had exited the other side of the cave. This was quickly corrected during observation of the surrounding area and upon picking up the undistorted radio broadcast they had been searching for. The broadcast, which appeared to have been repeating on loop since April 20th, was an automated message originating from Site 81 within the 2935 reality. The full transcription of the message is as follows. This is an automated emergency broadcast from the SCP Foundation and your national government. One or more of our sites is experiencing a communication breakdown, likely due to a containment breach of unknown magnitude. All citizens are ordered to stay in their homes and containment teams work to secure the breach. This message will be broadcast from April 20th, 2016 until message comes out suddenly and repeats. Dorian Low, welcome. Rolzo opens stream attempts to stay awake with Mout's smooth voice. I'm reading bedtime stories. So, good luck. Afterwards, the Site-81 personnel contacted Site Command. Mobile Task Force Epsilon 13, Manifest Destiny, was immediately assigned to examination and exploration of 2935. Addendum 2935.2, Exploration of 2935. Exploration of 2935 by MTF Epsilon 13 took place over 4 separate missions, 3 manned and 1 unmanned. During these missions, several artifacts and pieces of information were recovered, and a full list with descriptions is available in Addendum 2935.3. Exploratory Mission 2935.1, codename Gauntlet. There's a cup of tea for more coziness. In my special tea mug as well. I just realised that the t-shirt I'm wearing. T-Rex. I'm just full on tea today, apparently. Because, like, you know, there's the cup. Shirt. Oh, God. Because, you know. Ugh. Has to be. Ah, you missed with the fish. Just a bit later, the tea that is. I'm not a barbarian. I'm not going to spill tea. Especially not intentionally. T-Rex is very classy. Yes, and what does it say? It's a roaringly good tea, old chap. And 1.5 pound net weight. And established 65 million years ago. Gossip. Oh, I know. I was just, you know, being literal. Because I can. Also, I have no gossip. I just don't. Mission abstract: to survey and collect information samples from areas directly surrounding the 2935 insertion point. I say I'm a brat. I'm not a brat. I'm just a shit. Assigned task force: Mobile Task Force Epsilon 13, Manifest Destiny, 4 members. How hot do you want your tea? As hot as me fucking someone. Additional information. The following is a transcript of audio and video recordings captured by MTF E13, who were tasked with surveying 2935 immediately after its discovery. The 4-man team, led by Agent Juno, spent just over 1 hour during the preliminary assessment of the anomaly. Let me tell you. Oh. Begin log. Juno. Mic's on. Devon. Check. Kale. Check. Underwood. Check. Juno. Command. Command. We hear you. Confirm that all agents are at the insertion point. Juno. Confirmed. Command. Alright, proceed with the insertion. Don't take any chances in there. We have no idea what you're going to see. Juno. Understood. Moving in. T. MTFE-13 team enters 2935. Travel through the cave system takes roughly 15 minutes, after which the team emerges on the opposite side of 2935. After cameras adjust to sunlight, the surrounding landscape is visible. Underwood. Christ. Kale. Yeah, holy shit. Command. Confirm what we're seeing here, lead. Juno. Yeah, looks like a total lack of living vegetation. Trees, grass, everything looks dead. Command. Temperature readings coming at 24°C. Sound right? Juno. Affirmative. It's pretty pleasant. Clouds even on a lot of wind. Command. Understood. Go ahead and proceed, team. Look for any housing. Devon. Is this the area we just left? Command. We're trying to confirm that. Can you identify anything nearby? Kale, if we go up this ridge, there should be a road there, the one we came in on. Juno, let's have that way. Team moves up nearby ridge. Juno, yep, that's the road. Command, hard to say for certain yet, but preliminary observation points to this being the same locality as our side of the cave. Command, understood, proceed with caution. Juno, understood. Team moves north to the nearby road. After roughly 2 kilometers of travel, team encounters a farmhouse. 2 cars sit outside. No. Juno, command, there's a house over here. Going to go check it out. Command, understood. Team lead, I have Underwood set up the broadcast relay you've got. We want to try and respond to that signal. Underwood, got that command, I'll set it up now. Juno, alright, let's move in. Team moves to the front door of the farmhouse. The door is unlocked, front parlour is vacant, and Agent Kale confirms the power still works within the structure. Agents move for the kitchen. Yeah, dragon sipping tea emote. There are so many emotes that I'd want to have for myself, but I A, don't have the slots for all of them, and B, don't think I have the money to commission them. I'm very surprised there's not a dragon lewd command. Command? Emote. But I think also I don't think Twitch would like that. Devon, Jesus Christ, what? 3 adult corpses, Jesus. Well, yeah, there's that. 3 adult corpses, 2 female and 1 male, are seated at a table within the kitchen. A 4th corpse, a male child, lays nearby. Phoenix Lion, welcome. Then you are fishing the SCP logo. Could be done with censorship. It could, because I'm very certain that there are other streamers out there who've got far more lewd emotes than I have. Juno, command, you see this? Command, we can. Can you confirm life signs on any of those individuals? Juno, I can. The adult male is dead, and the female to his right, and to his left, and the child also dead. So that's to be pretty recent. No signs of decomp. Kale, this is pretty fucked up. Devon, there's a newspaper on the table. April 19th, 2016. Hendricks County Flyer. Command, can you confirm the headline? Command, 1 moment, team. Kale, dinner, look. Chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans. Command, confirming that headline is accurate with that newspaper on that date. Lewd. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. That creates 3 hours of work. Fair. But I'm going to lewd emojis on Twitch from other people, like, you know, if he's banned on Twitch, but it's like I say, Twitch is an emoji. So I tried to get a emote of Boob Canyon from God Eater 3, and it was literally just her cleavage, and it would not let me upload it. It's, you know, it said, you know, no. So, no idea then. Devon, what the fuck? Kale, it's stale, but there's no... Devon, Wall Clock says the date is April 28th, 2016. That's today. Same time too, 0945. Same as my time. How long have they been here? Kale, boss, look, the food. Juno, what about it? Kale, it's covered in dust. They are too. They've been here for a while. But the food is all stale, but it's not rotten. That chicken should have been covered in mold by now, but there's nothing. See? Even the potatoes. Juno, yeah, I see it. Command, team, we want to get some samples. Some of that food, samples from the individuals in the room, hair, skin, fluids if you can get them, and electronics in the room. Devon, there's a laptop on a desk in the next room, a smartphone in that woman's pocket. Yeah, battery is dead. Command, collect it, see if there's anything of notes nearby, and get back outside. We don't want to keep you there for too long until we know more about the environment. Agent Kale collects biological samples from the corpses, as well as from the food on the table. Agent Juno surveys the rest of the home. Agent Devon moves to the living room and turns on television. Devon, TV works, just flipping around, and there's not a whole lot other than test signals. Fuck me. Shit, boss, come here. Juno, what you got? Devon, I think it's the Home Shopping Network. Look. Television shows the set of the Home Shopping Network. 2 individuals are on screen, one laying near an empty chair and the other facing the camera directly. Neither individual is moving. Backdrop has been burned. Automatic fire suppression system seems to have been triggered, and red emergency lights flash off screen. Marquee at the bottom of the screen scrolls as usual. Date reads April 28th, 2016. Juno, alright, yeah, let's get out of here. Kale, come on, we're moving. Team leaves the house and rendezvous with Agent Underwood, who is finishing setting up the broadcast relay. After an additional 15 minutes, MTF-E13 returns to 2935 insertion point. Before returning, Agent Kale collects samples of nearby vegetation for study. Devon, you know what I just realised, boss? Juno, what's that? Devon, it's somewhere in the Midwest. Do you feel like anything is missing? Juno, what do you mean? Devon, listen. There's nothing. No birds, no insects, no car noise, nothing. Just the wind. It's so goddamn quiet. End log. Note. At the conclusion of this mission, team returned to the 2935 access point. However, team was given instructions to stay within 2935 and establish a forward camp and await additional members of MTF E13. Look at your other remote, my brain for you to see what that remote is. Yeah, I'm seeing several different things with that. Several different ones. Sounds very Miranda from Firefly Serenity, that's fine. Can't remember. Been ages since I've watched that. Exploratory mission 2935.2, codename Overland. Mission abstract: to gain access to a Foundation site, which is Site 81, and attempt to retrieve information from the Foundation server therein and establish a forward camp there. Assigned Task Force, Mobile Task Force Epsilon 13, Manifest Destiny, 16 members. Additional information. The following is a transcript of audio and video recordings captured by MTFE-13. The 16-man recovery team, led by Agents Juno and Roy, were given instructions to commandeer functional vehicles within 2935 and reach Site 81. Extraneous or non-pertinent dialogue has been removed. For full records, please contact the Site 81 administration. Begin log. Extraneous dialogue removed. Team locates several vehicles and begins to move south towards Site 81. Oh, shit, I need to be right back. And I return. Sorry about that. It's all sorted out now. Right, let's see what I missed while I was away. Like, is a Kangaskhan very part of it anyway? Oh, yeah. That ass. Best go to random quote. I'm going to go and hump my wife's face. I mean... I'm fairly certain that's a Skyrim quote. Yeah. Time with that quote. Darth goes random quote and gets shitterous from Scoo. I just summoned at the door. Yeah, it was the balcony inspection. No face humping then. I mean, if you want some, then yeah, sure, I can arrange it. Yeah, form an orderly queue. There's plenty for everyone. Best go random quote and gets look at my crotch. I mean, sure. You've seen what I'm packing anyway, but if you want another look, sure. DJ goes for random quote and gets dispersal murder. That one is EDF. That's EDF 4.1. Wickham goes for random quote and gets I slapped him with my god rod. That's an SCP. That is an SCP. Speaking of which, right, let's get back to this super serious one. Darth follows up with a random quote of Minge Mansion. This is another joke, SCP. I'm giggling. Oh, Jesus. Ah. Team locates several vehicles and begins to move south towards Site 81. Main roadways are navigable due to few vehicles being on them at the time of a function. Total death of all life forms within 2935. Several fires are visible from the highway, including 3 downed jetliners. Examination of crash sites shows a recurring theme. All inhabitants seem to lose consciousness at the same time. As a result of this, there are also few vehicle-on-vehicle collisions, as most of the vehicles stop simultaneously. Upon reaching Bloomington, MTFE-13 split into 2 separate teams, one led by Agent Roy, which would move directly to Site 81, and another led by Agent Juno, which would attempt to access the off-site deep storage server bank. For the purposes of this log, Agent Juno's team log are omitted. Information gathered from the excursion can be found in Addendum 2935.3. Agent Roy's team approaches Site 81 main access point beneath the Lake Monroe Reservoir Dam. Access elevator is confirmed as operational, and the team descends into the entry level. Ride goes for random quote against, I must be able to come at a different angle then. I mean, yeah. When you've got 2 and you're as dexterous as I am, you can come from any angle. Ullman. Roy, yeah. Ullman, I was wondering, I know you guys were on assignment, but I think I was on site on the 19th. Roy, I was thinking the same thing. I was on site that day too. Ullman, you think we're here? Roy, we'll find out soon enough. Spent the entire night in the weapons lab with Faust and Morocco. It's right inside. Daniels, you guys hear that? Indigo, hear what? Daniels, exactly. Shouldn't we be hearing a breach alarm? Roy, not necessarily. Breach alarms are automated, but only if any of the containment cells trigger it. Otherwise, they have to be executed manually. Keller, somebody had to have gotten to the office to start the emergency broadcast. Roy, if it was an automated response. If I had to wager, it was probably triggered by vital monitors going flat. Indigo, vital monitors can trip the emergency response? Roy, not anyone by itself, but a lot of them could. Ullman, here we are. Team departs elevator, primary access gate to Site 81 visible. All lights continue to function, lockdown status is visually confirmed. Roy, Keller, get that door open. Careful, everyone. Agent Keller interfaces with the access console, lockdown status is rescinded, and the main gate opens. Team moves through the check-in area. Ali, coast is clear. Roy, alright boys, let's check the front offices first. Head right. Team enters Site 81 front offices. Indigo, we've got bodies over here. Roy, yeah, we should expel a lot of that. Anyone recognise them? Daniels, I mean, they're really dehydrated, but that's Desiree Clark and Max Westminster. John Cabin over there. This one is Eliza Watson. They're all staffed at 81. Ullman, I'm probably working that day too. Roy, anyone know what time they mark off their calendars in the office? Straight, not until first shift shows up, 8 AM local. Roy, makes sense. Last check-off is April 19th. Keller patch into the system again and try to find out what triggered the emergency broadcast. Ullman, you need to go check out the break room over there, see if... I don't know. Ali, boss? Roy, sorry. Shit, I wasn't expecting this. Not like this anyway. I thought this would be messier. Breaches usually are, but this is... Daniels, clean. I mean, they're pretty obviously corpses, but they're clean. No blood, slight post-mortem excretions, but it's all dried up at this point. Think it was a disease? Roy, let's get some samples. Swab surfaces, use Indigo's chit to check for microbes. Juno's boys found a house without a trace of them, and Kamal wants to know if that's consistent. Indigo, be careful not to contaminate any surfaces you're collecting from. Keep your suits on, don't deglove, etc. Roy, right, let's move. Radio in if you find anything. Ullman, will do. Agents Ullman and Indigo move to break room. Several other corpses are discovered during examination of the area. Agent Keller interfaces again with the Site-81 control system. Agents Ali, Strait, and Daniels leave front office to collect samples from a nearby cafeteria. Keller, got it. Roy, what's it say? Keller, looks like the system was triggered at 0400 hours during a routine vitals check. Apparently there was a malfunction, or rather the system thought there was a malfunction. All the vitals transmitters had stopped recording since the last check. Roy, that doesn't throw up a breach alarm? Keller, no, I don't think so. So it would probably ping maintenance first, and then the system command, and then site command? If nobody responded, it would probably trigger a message to 17. If that went ignored, maybe Overwatch command. After all those timed out, it dropped into the automated failsafe, locked down the site, and began broadcasting for help. Then it waited. Roy, waited for what? Keller, a response from another site, or literally anybody on staff. I think even level 1s can rescind timeout lockdowns. Hypothetical, though, I've never seen it used like that. Roy, so nobody came calling? Keller, nobody but us a couple of days later. Roy pauses. What about the AIADs? No idea what they are. Alexandra is patched into site, isn't she? Maybe they're still here. Keller, good point. There we go. Alexandra.aic is currently running. That's good, I'll wake her up. Alexandra, can you hear me? Alexandra, this is James Keller. Are you awake? Roy, try the text interface. Keller, interfaces with the terminal again. Nothing. Says the program is still running, but no response at all. I'll try... Nothing from Thorn either. They've all gone quiet. Roy, well that's odd. Will us being here wake the other sites up since we rescinded 81's lockdown? Keller, assuming they're all in the same lockdown as this one, maybe? No doubt some of them are protocols that require somebody to be on site to break a lockdown. I know Site 27 does, but they've got a pretty substantial cater wing. Of course, we could get to Overwatch and unlock them that way. I know they could remotely rescind security measures at all sites. Roy, do you know what Overwatch is? Keller, no. Do you? Roy, no. Ullman, hey boss, we're... Roy, where are you, Ullman? Indigo, we're in the weapons lab. Roy. Ullman, we can just collect samples and look up after. Roy, no, I want to see it. We'll be right there. Agents Roy and Keller move to Site 81's weapon lab. Agents Ullman and Indigo stand just inside the door. Roy, let's have a look. Indigo, boss, Roy, it's not me in there. I'm me. You think I'm worried about what happens inside of an anomaly? We've all seen all kinds of crazy shit. Places that mess with your head or whatever. Seeing my own corpse isn't going to ruin my day. Team enters weapons lab. Agents Morocco and Faust are laying near a lab bench. The corpse of Dr. Rogers is collapsed near the door to the firing range. Room is otherwise empty, though covered in dust. Roy, where is it? Agent Ullman leads the team to the door to the firing range. Inside the range is empty, except for a assembled corpse at the far end of the room laying on the floor. Indigo, we've collected samples and I had a chance to look at a few under the scope. 100% cell death in every single one. I'll have to get these back to Bio in order to do a more thorough investigation, but I've never seen anything like it. Roy, yeah, we will. Agent Roy pulls over the corpse of Agent Roy. He reaches down and turns the corpse over, revealing the firearm that Agent Roy had been testing. Indigo, they're obviously not rotten or anything. You can barely even smell them. None of the biological processes that break down a body after death seem to have kicked in because, well, something along the line, there stopped being biological processes. They're just dried out now. Roy, I see that. I remember this. I was only testing this for a little while. They'll be able to find it on security footage, nail down what time this all happened, see if it's consistent with everything else. Ullman, right. Roy, okay, so we should probably check on our senior staff. I think Dr. Actus likes to get to bed by 9, so he'll probably be in his quarters. Straight, we're already there. He's gone. The rest of them are too. Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Love, Dr. Carston, Dr. Mann was out in the hall. I think he was in town for that seminar on the 19th. They're just like the rest of them, totally undisturbed otherwise. Roy, well, saves us that trip, I guess. Keller, get into that terminal, see if we can access the containment wings. I want to make sure there's nothing in here nothing that can get out, I guess. Keller, can do. Agent Keller moves to a nearby terminal. Agent Indigo collects samples from the corpse of Agent Roy. Elsewhere, Agents Strait, Ali, and Daniels examine the corpses of Site 81 senior staff, collecting samples as necessary and taking artifacts for local observation. Ali, you guys get the feeling we're getting mind wiped after we get back from this? Daniels, why? Ali, this has to be a huge breach of informational security, right? I mean, hell, I could go looking at Actus's sock drawer and tell you whether he prefers boxes or briefs. Who knows what else we could get into us accidentally or otherwise? Roy, senior staff doesn't have much functional knowledge of the skips at their site, believe it or not. The important stuff is locked down on the network, and that really important stuff is kept on vinyl somewhere. Regardless, you don't need to go snooping through his journal or anything. Actually, I take that back. If you come across a journal, pick it up. Wouldn't hurt. Ali, amnestics hurt. Straight, you wouldn't know either way. Killer, I'm in, boss. Looks like everything should be clear, though we'll have to access a handful manually. I can't open them up from here. Should be pretty straightforward. And Roy, yeah? Keller, sort of. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. It's an encrypted security warning, but it wasn't triggered automatically. Somebody would have had to put it here. Roy, when was it posted? Keller, about 3 days ago, so definitely after our projected date. Could very well be a glitch or something, but... Roy, but... Keller, it's not likely. These kind of things don't just show up. Too many fail-safes. The system won't throw up an encrypted message unless it's absolutely necessary. Roy, or someone put it there. Keller pauses. Video and audio recording equipment cuts out briefly. Roy, right? Keller, right. Roy, log it, transmit it back to Junior's team, have them relay it local side, see what they can make of it. Keller, sure. Oh, just received a message for them. Looks like they finished up, say they're going to roll our way here in a bit. Roy, alright, let's head downstairs. See what the skips have been up to. Team assembles outside the staff dormitories. Team moves to lower access elevator. Team arrives at first containment level. Roy, wits about you boys. Oh man, I feel like somebody's watching us. Daniels, I feel it too. Doesn't feel right here. Straight, there's something else in here. Roy, it's just the 7 of us. Get your head straight. Let's move. Team begins to check safe class containment cells. Indio, SCP-2151, that big fleshy thing. Roy, get the door open. Agents open the door. Straight, there in the corner. Ullman, is it moving? It looks like it's moving. Roy, it's just the fucking light. Look, it's all dried out. Agent Indigo examines 2151-1A. Yeah, this one's gone. Check that chamber. The rings should be in there. Daniels, they're in here. They're all tarnished, though. This one's rusted. Roy, bag them. Let's move on. What's next? Keller, that displacement chamber at the end of the hall. We could check that. The ghost girl is in there. Roy, let's see. Straight, wait. The cell is up too. Doesn't have a designation tag on it. Ali, fuck, can you smell that? It's coming from this room? Daniels, smells like death. Oh god, that's strong. Roy, can you get that door open, Keller? Keller, hang on. It's acting up. I think it's jammed. Probably a malfunction. Daniels, open the window. It's not jammed. Ali opens window. Oh fuck, that one's decomposed. Straight, Christ alive, you're right. Why is it so much different? Who is that? Ali, they've got a jacket on. Hang on. Oh man. Keller, that's you. Keller, you're sure? Ali, agent number 1703. Yeah, the name badge is covered, but you can see the ID number on the other sleeve, see? The fuck happened to you? Keller, I'm actually not sure. I definitely wasn't on site on the 19th or the 20th. Straight, that's really weird. Roy, we'll come to it. Let's keep going. Team moves down to SCP-2996's containment cell. Straight, isn't this that skip that... Daniels, yep. Straight, did they ever get that resolved? Daniels, not as far as I know. Agent Straight opens the chamber door. Indigo, fuck. Roy, is the displacement chamber still functional? Keller, looks like it. Ali, so what's that all over the inside of the chamber? Indigo, if I had to guess, I'd say that's the ghost girl. Daniels, did she explode? Indigo, maybe had an adverse reaction to dying twice. Roy, can we get the chamber open? Keller, I'd advise against it. Our suits aren't rated for whatever it's in there. You should see the monstrosities they'll have to wear when they go in to clean this thing. Roy, fair enough, let's keep looking. Team continues to check containment cells, all with similar results. All biological anomalous entities are confirmed to have perished, while non-biological artifacts or entities have become inert. This continues for an additional hour. Indigo, something just occurred to me, boss. Roy, yeah? Indigo, did you get that memo a few months ago about them moving that skip to 19? Roy, the lizard? Yeah, I was assigned to that job. Indigo, it passed through 81 on the way there? Roy, it did. It was only here a few days. Ali, wait, what lizard? Indigo, which days? Roy, downstairs, come on. Team moves to the lowest containment level. Agent Keller rescinds lockdown status on containment wing. Most cells are rated for Euclid and Cater class entities, but all are empty. Ullman, they moved the lizard here, and they didn't tell site staff? Roy, only essential personnel. Staff tends to get nervous. Straight, wonder why. Roy, quiet. It was just around this corner. There. Team faces a green containment cell. Green indicator light is lit, indicating the containment cell is active. Roy, get the door, Keller. Ali, hey boss, hang on. If we open that door and it's still, you know, the way it usually is, then... Roy, we're fucked, I know. Agent Keller opens the security door. Team enters containment cell. Within the cell is a large steel container. A tank of acid sits above the tank, as do several other containment-oriented machines. Roy, there's a door over here. Straight. Roy, Agent Roy opens the door to the container. Ali, how? Daniels, is The corpse of SCP-682 is visible within the chamber. Entity displays no signs of life. Straight. That's impossible. That's fucking impossible. There's no way. Agent Indigo approaches the corpse and proceeds to examine it. After a short time, he steps back. Yeah, it's dead. Team remains silent for a moment. Aiden Ali runs his hands across his head. Roy, you know, I'm suddenly feeling weird about this place too, boys. Let's go topside. Indigo, do you want me to collect some samples? Roy, it can wait. Team returns to the service. Little is discussed on the way. Team rendezvous with Agent Juno's acquisition team. Both teams dispatch automated drones to the SCP-2935 access site with collated artifacts and information for local analysis. End log. Exploratory mission 2935.3, codename 19. So this is Juno's account of what happens. Mission abstract to travel to and ascertain the conditions of Site 19 within SCP-2935. Assigned Task Force, Mobile Task Force Epsilon 13, Manifest Destiny, 16 members. Additional information, the following is a transcript of audio and video recordings captured by MTF-E13, the 16-man recovery team, led by Agent Juno and Roy, were given instructions to extend their missions within 2935 and travel to Site 19. Begin log. Due to a technical issue with the recording equipment issued to the MTF-E13 team, all but one recorder failed to transmit to the broadcast relay. The remaining recorder, belonging to Agent Keller, continued to intermittently transmit audio only during the entire duration of the 6-day expedition. After the first day, Command was able to relay with Agent Keller and inform him of the state of the transmitters. It is believed that Agent Keller received this message, although not certain, as Agent Keller made no attempts during the mission to attempt to repair the transmitters. The following are excerpts of Agent Keller's audio transmissions. And so all these things are from Keller. Southwest of here. Hang on. There we go. There are a lot of system messages in here. Looks like a lot of sites are trying to automatically contact 19 for assistance. I think some of these sites I haven't even heard of. That one might even be the same as the Transmitters 81. Yeah, but this one doesn't do an hourly check. It just pings them all every few seconds. 0113 hours. So that would be 0313 EST. That fits in our projected timetable. Power failure. There's nobody down here to change the fuel cells, so probably just shred them and wait for the new ones. No lights until then. Not the right kind of engineer, sorry. There should be one down the hall. Yeah, he's dead. I assume since I'm still standing here, it's not working anymore. All you have to do is touch it. Bag it, throw a sticker on it, let them know the amulets won't do anything to them. Well, that's Dr. Bright. Hang on. Doors up. I think that used to be Dr. Cimarron. Over his agent straight say that was a bad place to stand. Understatement of the year. I'm having trouble getting... Our connection isn't great down here. Broken, just like the mask was earlier. No, you can blink, it's fine. Hello, S079? Are you awake? Nothing. Answers that. What were you expecting? Drone's here. We're going to send it back to the access point. It'll just be a minute. Several minutes of Agent Keller quickly typing at a keyboard. Unlike previous transmissions, no other individual can be heard in the background. Just checking to see if there are any other messages we should know about. No, nothing out of the ordinary. We're good to push on. At least you look good. Man was face down at the bottom of a flight of stairs. They're all dead. Every single one of them. How haven't you figured this out yet? We're not on a goddamn recovery mission. We're not here to rescue anyone. There's nobody to rescue. Our evidence indicates that everyone is dead. Everyone and everything. 100% of Foundation sites reporting the same transmitter malfunction. 100% of Foundation sites in lockdown. Not just here, all over the world. There's no bunker they could have gotten to. No, because it was everybody. But this isn't our reality. It's someone else's. Ours is fine. Nothing happened to ours. That's the power core ejecting the spent fuel rods. Lights out. Must have triggered an emergency breach protocol. I can't... Door is locked, Juno. I can't just magic it open. I'm sorry, I'll try to get something out. Hey, Command, this is Keller. The on-site nuke at 19 got tripped. We're locked in down here, and Kale wants you to tell Anita that he loves her. And Daniel has family in Florida. Just let them know he's alright. They're going to be alright. Roy has kids, he says. You get it. No, it just means the loudspeaker lost power. We're done. Transmission cuts out suddenly. End log. Exploratory Mission 2935.4, codename Emptiness. Mission abstract, to utilize an automated drone to assess the situation of the 2935 reality at large, as well as recon with the MTF-E13 team at Site 19. Assigned task force, not applicable, one automated drone. Additional information, the following is a transcript of the audio and video recorded by an automated Foundation drone SKF-1951, launched by Site 81 personnel at the 2935 access point. The planned mission was to use the drone to gather information about 2935, as well as contact MTF-E13 and retrieve artifacts and data collected by the team. Begin log. Drone moves from the access point onto nearby road, which uses a runway for takeoff. Drone ascends to an altitude of 3 kilometers. From this height, the surrounding area is clearly visible. The entire region is completely devoid of all forms of biological life. Many trees have collapsed, likely due to high winds, and large drifts of sand and dirt are beginning to form along roadways and houses. To the west, a storm system is forming, moving east. The drone turns east towards Indianapolis. As previously confirmed by MTF-E13, US HW-70 is mostly empty of vehicle traffic, save for the occasional semi-trailer. Several large fires have broken out across the dry vegetation and buildings in nearby towns. In the distance, the Indianapolis International Airport is visible, with several other large fires nearby, likely due to downed planes. A large pillar of smoke obscures the camera briefly, and after passing, it is confirmed to have originated from a downed Southwest Airlines 737 jetliner. On approach to Indianapolis, the city appears relatively unscathed. Several small fires appear to have broken out, but have either burned out or been put out by rain. One apartment building on the near west side appears to have collapsed, but most other structures remain intact. Drone turns north towards Science 19. Passing over central north of Indiana reveals much of the same: dead vegetation, dirt and sand drifts, and the corpses of animals and livestock at area farms. Occasionally a human corpse is visible, though many likely remain within their homes. Camera cuts out. Command is unable to re-establish a link with drone, although this is not unexpected. Drone continues to fly autonomously towards Site 19, with communications likely disrupted by the storm. Video link re-established. Drone now in the middle of a thunderstorm, off-heading slightly, lightning strikes nearby and camera cuts out again. After half an hour, video link is re-established. Drone begins to descend. GPS determines that drone is nearing Site 19, roughly 35 kilometers northwest of Lansing, Michigan. To the far northwest, a large fire is visible. Below, another jetliner is visible, having crashed into Spartan Stadium at Michigan State University. A fire burns on the Red Cedar River, just north of the university. Drone begins final descent, closing on Site 19 compound. After clearing credentials with Site 19, the drone lands on the NE airstrip near the staff dormitory access building. The drone then transmits its coordinates to the MTF-E13 team, deploys solar panels, and powers down. 5 hours pass. Drone is activated by Agent Keller, who proceeds to load a parcel of collected artifacts onto the underside of the drone. Agent Keller's radio is heard receiving communications from his team, although the messages are unintelligible. Lastly, Agent Keller loads the drone with a large amount of recovered data from a recovery team hard drive. Agent Keller then crouches in front of the primary observation camera. The agent reaches forward to clean the camera off with the back of a glove, then stares into the camera. I don't have any answers. I don't think there are any. I'll do this one thing and hope that fixes it. Seal it shut. You gotta lock it in here with us. I'm sorry. Agent steps away from drone and returns to access building. 10 minutes later, drone departs for 2935 access point. Roughly 2 hours into flight, drone detects a large explosion in the direction of Site 19. Mushroom cloud indicative of an on-site nuclear device being detonated is visible on the horizon. Return trip otherwise uneventful. Drone recovered on local side of 2935 without further incident. Artifacts and data moved to Site 81 for investigation. Addendum 2935.3. Recovered data and artifacts from MTF-E13 missions. Access recovered data and artifacts list. Note, the following is a list of artifacts recovered by the MTF-E13 team on its 3 separate missions into 2935. Some artifacts omitted. See Site 81 Research Department for a list of recovered items. For information on about data recovered from 2935, please see the additional section at the end of this addendum. Artifact acquisitions. Sample of various vegetation at 2935 access point. All specimens were severely dried out, confirmed as having no remaining living cells. Several various insect carcasses at the nearest 2935 access point. Thank you for the hydration reminder, DJ. All specimens were dried out and confirmed as having no remaining living cells. A copy of the Hendricks County Flyer dated April 19th, 2016. At the Gauntlet House. Covered in dust, no sign of microbes or any other living biological material. Hair and skin samples from an adult male at the Gauntlet House. Total cell death. And the same is true for the hair and skin samples from the adult female, another adult female, and a male child. Cell phone collected off adult female corpse at the Gauntlet House. Samsung Note 5 smartphone in white. Last communication sent from phone on April 19th, 2016 at 2041 hours EST. Message reads, "Are you still guys planning on playing cards tonight? I have Steven, but he'll probably be asleep soon." Various foodstuffs at the Gauntlet House. Dried out and covered in dust, but no evident signs of decay. Analysis shows no signs of microbial life throughout any of the recovered food items. Desk calendar at Site 81. The desktop calendar sitting at the front office at Site 81. Last marked off day is April 19, 2016, covered in a fine layer of dust. Skin samples collected from various Site 81 front office staff members. All samples confirmed as experiencing total cell death, no microbial life remaining. Various firearms collected from the Site 81 firing range. Traces of oil from human hands, but no residual microbial life forms. Flesh sample from SCP-2151-1A. Flesh sample unresponsive, total cell death confirmed after further analysis. Leather-bound journal belonging to Dr. Actus. Matches Dr. Actus's personal journal to that date. No inconsistent entries noted. Moved to storage. SCP-2151-A and -B. Both items are severely corroded. After further testing, both instances are confirmed to no longer be anomalous. Both instances moved to storage. Skin and hair samples from Site 19 staff. Samples consistent with other previous samples. SCP-963. Artifact is inert. Instance of Dr. Jack Bright that was the artifact was recovered from was consistent with other corpses found within 2935. A smashed wristwatch belonging to Dr. Darius Hemsworth. Wristwatch no longer operational. Apparently ceased operations at 0313 hours EST after falling to the ground with its owner. Various pieces of concrete and rebar covered in green and red paint. Artifact is inert. The origin of this artifact is uncertain. Sounds like the moving statue. Data acquisitions. Data source. An automated emergency response signal originating from Site 81 led to the discovery of 2935, and it's the same message that was broadcast earlier. Data source. A log of distress pings originating from Site 81. 0313. Massive transmitter error. Requesting maintenance. 0314. Massive transmitter error. Requesting maintenance. 0315. Massive transmitter error. Possible breach of containment. Requesting maintenance. 0316. To Site 81 command. Massive transmitter error. Please advise. 0321. To Site 81 command. Massive transmitter error. Please advise. 0326. To Site 81 command. Massive transmitter error. Beginning lockdown procedures. Site will lock down in 10 minutes. 0331. Site will lock down in 5 minutes. 0335. Site will lock down in 1 minute. 0336. Site lockdown complete. Please advise. 0400 to Site 17 command. Site experiencing massive transmitter error. Lockdown procedures initiated. Please advise. 0500 to Overwatch command. Multiple sites unresponsive. Experiencing massive transmitter error. Lockdown procedures initiated. Please advise. Data source. Site 19 interior and exterior security camera footage. Footage shows the exact moment during which the 2935 event took place. At exactly 0313 hours EST, footage shows all members of site staff on camera, as well as all surrounding flora and fauna outside Site 19, suddenly dying. No other phenomena are evident on this footage. Data source. Encrypting security warning recovered from Site 81. Decryption of source revealed a hidden audio log file. Transcript of that file is below. Alright, here we are. My name is... it doesn't really matter. Was on staff at 81. If you're hearing this, then you've probably got some kind of idea what the deal is here, so I don't need to explain the foundation to you. This, everything else, it's pretty self-evident, isn't it? Fuck me, as of my recording this, it is 21:36 hours EST on April 26th. I've managed to get back into 81, even with this lockdown bullshit that's got triggered, and I guess this is it. I wish I had an explanation. If I didn't still bleed, I would think I was dreaming. I've had dreams that I was dreaming, but I wake up and I'm still here alone, and everyone's gone. They sent me to check the signal that they picked up near Joppa, just off of 70. Quick look at the exploratory mission. I was the closest. I pop in there and find this cave. On the other side is the world I just left, but it's this one. This is the world I end up in. The grass, the birds, things dropping out of the skies, and dark things floating in the water. People everywhere lying where they stood, and the silence. God, the silence. Not even birds or bugs, just wind and nothing else. I came back to report on what I had seen, and I don't have any answers. I don't think there are any. I don't even have the right words to say. This world is different from the one I saw in the cave. People have moved around. The date is different. Things are different. Because it's my world. This is the one I left. My family is here, and my friends, but now, it's all gone. Everything's dead. There's no evil magic. There's no supernatural stars. There's no futuristic ray gun or false vacuum device or nothing. None of those things mattered. Nothing we did mattered. It's all gone. Something must have been in that cave. Something must have followed me out of there. Needed me to go in there. Needed me to bring it out. Let it loose. Let it do to my world what it did to that. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was the reason. Maybe I am death. If it was in there and I brought it back, then I am death. I've got myself in a containment cell. Jam the goddamn door shut. You know, put a bullet between my eyes. Everyone else is dead. What's one more? You know, if it occurs to me, if you're listening to this, you're death too. Forgot just how creepy that one was. Fucking hell. Jesus. That was most likely a pokey one. Where Pokey gets the reputation for having the really, really, really creepy ones. Saw it coming. Nice try though. Holy fuck. Yep. Alright, on to the next one. Item number SCP-3937. Object class neutralized. Oh, this is a fairly short one, I think. Special containment procedures. All instances of 3937-1 have been cremated and non-Euclidean portions of Site-112 have been properly seized by the containment teams. A similar feature spatial distortions with any Foundation site, as well as any manifestation of 3937-1 instances, must immediately be reported to local HCML supervisor and O5 Secretariat office. His fuck no pokey. Description. 3937 was a non-Euclidean space occupying a former testing lab in the sub-basement of Site-112, footnote of specializing in amnestic and mimetic production. At the time of its discovery, it contained approximately 250 heavily decomposed cadavers, collectively designated 3937-1, genetically identical to all current Site-112 staff. In follow-up interviews, no staff members were able to account for the similarity of 3937 to personnel or their sudden appearance. Person of interest 3937-A, Oscar Hansen, level 3937-3 classified. Oscar Hansen was employed at Site-112 as a junior researcher in mimetic development prior to the discovery of 3937. Follow-up investigation revealed him to be an undercover agent of GOI 003, Chaos Insurgency, and was reclassified as POI 3937-A. A relevant segment of post-capture interrogation has been appended below. Due to the corroboration of the subject and minimal security concerns, interview was conducted in a standard humanoid containment cell. Dr. Muhammad Iqbar, POI 3937-A's former activated supervisor, volunteered to conduct the interview. Dr. Iqbar, describe to us what you were doing in the week preceding 3937's discovery. 3937-A, I've been working on a potential new monastic strain with Dr. Fried. You know her. Lovely person. I hope I'll be able to say goodbye to her. We derived it from SCP leaves and had come up with a way to successfully laboratory produce it, and been working fine on all the lab animals we tested on. Mice, chimps, that sort of thing. We scheduled a human test, but it didn't pan out the same way at all. The D-class identified all the anti-mimetic targets in the testing room, but then she started pointing out targets that we hadn't drawn. And when she mentioned the annelids, we knew we'd made the strain much, much too powerful. After a few minutes, she stopped breathing. That high of a dosage just, well, the human body wasn't designed for that. Footnote of D55784 was later determined to expire due to a severe allergic reaction to one of the mimetic space components, and not its dosage. By that point, we prepared a pretty significant stock of the strain, and Dr. Fried had me dispose of it. Dr. Iqbar, but you didn't. 3937-A, the Chaos Insurgency, I mean, they have been communicating with me more and more the past month, though through the pictures in my personal correspondence. Dr. Iqbar, I admit that was clever, we never did catch on to that. 3937-A, they wanted to do a raid on Site-112, and they've been pressuring me to create a distraction or give them an in somehow. I didn't want to blow my cover, but I couldn't keep putting them off. So when Dr. Fry gave me the barrels and no one else was with me, I thought that maybe... Dr. Iqbar, where did you put the domestics, Oscar? 3937-A, I poured them in Site-112's water supply. POI 3937-A was transferred to Secure Facility 145 on 02/05/2018 and tried and executed for treason by O5 Secretariat. His remains were created and disposed of in an undisclosed location. Next is 01/03/2018, Site 112 video footage for O5 access only. Let's just bring that up because I believe that... That's not that one. There. That's the picture comes with it. Do you comprehend? It's upside down. Woo. Cognito hazardous agent active. Life signs verified. The following video footage was recovered from Site-112 immediately after discovery of 3937. The original footage has since been intentionally destroyed due to its cognitohazardous effects and is only reproduced in this transcript. 0600, Site-112 Laboratory 8 testing camera is activated. 0600, Site-112 showers turn on. 0608, Dr. Mohammed Iqbar enters the frame in a considerable state of distress. He is naked and appears to have just exited the showers. Footnote 3, Dr. Iqbar has denied all knowledge of these events. He begins to speak to the camera, though its audio recording system has not been activated. 0611, Dr. Iqbar picks up the camera and carries it with him into the hall. Multiple other Site-112 personnel are visible, similarly distressed and unclothed. Several of them begin to walk up the walls and visibly recoil from entryways. 0620, Dr. Iqbar begins to walk through Site-112. The building layout in the video does not match the layout of the site and appears non-Euclidean. 0622, Dr. Iqbar walks through a corner. A fleshy substance within the wall is briefly observed on the video. 0625, all signs on the wall now read Multiversal Panopticon Object Preservation Society. I wonder if this is where Control get their insight from. 0627, Dr. Iqbar enters the containment chamber for SCP. He passes his hand through it. Nothing is there. 0629 to 0750, Dr. Iqbar enters all containment cells on floor 3. Nothing is where it belongs. 0800, Dr. Iqbar enters the floor. 0801, tunnels pulsate in every direction. One opens, revealing a desert with 2 suns. SCP is glimpsed during entering a tunnel and is lost to view. 0804, there's a mouth under the floor. Other Site-11 112 staff are viewed in frame. They shy away from it. 0805, eyes open. Though the audio feed is not active on the camera, there is something like a sound. 0805, Site-112 does not exist. It has not existed for a very, very long time. The thing that was pretending to be Site-112 begins to move incredibly fast. 0805, Dr. Iqbar shuts off the camera feed. 0820, Dr. Iqbar, fully clothed, enters Laboratory 8. He places the camera back in its cradle and exits. As of 17/02/2018, we've determined that 3937 was created by the temporary incursion of a very similar parallel universe into our reality, creating the non-Euclidean space observed and depositing all instances of SCP-3937-1. As it is possible for this type of incursion to repeat, it is imperative that all personnel report any suspected instances to the local HCML supervisor and O5 Secretariat office. Failure to comply will result in immediate termination from Foundation employment. O5 command. Yeah, that one was short, but my god, that was still creepy. Really creepy. 096, one of the first ones I read to myself. Not the first one I read, but one of the first ones I read to myself. God, what was the first one I read? 087? I want to say it's 087. It's Never-Ending Staircase. Item number SCP-5522, Containment Class Cater, Level 3/5522, Confidential. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation web crawler JMCon is to monitor social media websites for reports of 5522 advertisements or mentions of 5522-1, which are to be removed. 5522-1's domain is to be artificially repressed by the Foundation agents planted within world governments. 5522-1's online traffic is to be monitored, with viewers having their internet speed throttled as to discourage continued viewing. If an individual successfully uses 5522-1, they are to be apprehended and amnesticized. Tracking of 5522's infection rate is currently being monitored by Dr. Randall Bannock, who is to produce a detailed report of its contagion pattern monthly to help develop additional containment measures. Establishments discovering possessing 5522 are to be purchased using Foundation assets, with former employees being administered Target C-class amnestics. Establishments are to then be condemned or remodeled and used as Foundation housing for field agents. Description: SCP-5522 is a metaphysical pathogen capable of infecting restaurants and other food service industries. 5522's main vector for infection is Delicious Dan's Delivery Speedrun, set in context, an anonymous website designed to similar to those used by third-party food delivery service designated SCP-5522-1. The website features various slogans such as 100% completion and only RTA. Although the meaning of these phrases is currently unknown, the website also boasts the promise that all food ordered through it will be received in a maximum of 30 minutes, or delivery will be free of charge. All attempts to find the original owner of 5522-1 have been met with failure, as all documentation has been registered under the name Delicious Dan. All attempts by Foundation to acquire or censor 5521-1 have similarly failed. When 5522-1 is used to order food from an establishment, that establishment becomes infected with 5522. 5522 will physically manifest as an advertisement campaign produced by the infected establishment in conjunction with 5522-1. Advertisements often appear in the form of paper flyers and print ads, although television commercials and cross-brand sponsorship deals have been recorded. These advertisements make similar claims to those by 5522-1, although offer it as a temporary offer with no concrete deadline. If advertisements are capable of reaching an uninfected establishment, it has a high probability of becoming another vector for 5522. When 5522-1 is used to order food from a 5522 infected establishment, no idea what symbol that is, an event will be triggered. These events are always accompanied by an immediate drop in ambient temporal stability. The events differ from normal deliveries by the method of transport used. Rather than being traditional means of transport, such as a motorized vehicle, employees will enact various rituals resulting in their immediate spatial displacement. With a footnote that says, normally manifesting as the individual passing through physical space to another location. These rituals are often bizarre in nature, consisting of nonsensical movements and significant physical exertion, with employees performing actions that would normally result in severe body injury. The contents of these rituals vary between events and are believed to correspond with the complexity of the order placed. Attempts to recreate the rituals outside of these events have universally failed to produce anomalous properties. Following displacement, the employee will arrive at their intended destination. No limit to the distance employees are able to be displaced has been found. Following the standard exchange of currency for the meal, the employee will become displaced once again, reappearing within the establishment. All individuals who have performed or observed these events have been unable to recognize their anomalous nature, although this does not apply to photographs or videos taken of these events, or individuals with prior knowledge of 5522. Addendum 5522.1 included below are notable events recorded during Foundation testing. All recorded events occurred with a former Spicy Cheese Pizzeria location following 5522 infection. The restaurant was vacant save for D-class staffing the location and security personnel. Orders were placed through 5522-1 on the computer terminal within Site 66, with personnel observing the events through closed-circuit TV cameras. Full list of known events, please see a document which doesn't link to anywhere. Lambda. There. 5522-1 order, small cheese pizza. Following event, subject stood in the southwestern corner of the kitchen and performed a series of crouches and jumps. These actions were done in quick succession and seemingly at random. Occasionally, subject's limbs were observed passing through the surrounding building, with the limbs being slightly rebuffed and ejected from the wall. After several minutes, the subject suddenly passed through the kitchen floor unimpeded, completely vanishing. Subject appeared at Site 66 unharmed, but complaining of aching legs. Speedrun glitches. It's all speedrun glitches. Okay, rest for the British recharge. Oh. Now I want pizza. It's going to get worse. I've got pizza in the freezer, actually. Could throw some jalapenos on that, have that for lunch. Okay. Speedrun pizza, yeah. That's literally the SCP, it's speedrun fast food. 5522-1 order, medium pepperoni pizza with a small order of wings. Following event, subject stood on a cushioned chair placed in front of the main entrance. Subject proceeded to jump upwards while holding the chair, then using the chair as a base to jump again. This was done using rapid minor changes in elevation, with the subject's jumps becoming blurred motion. Subject continued its action until they reached the ceiling, upon which they released the chair and launched themselves upwards. Passing through the obstruction, subject arrived at Site 66 unharmed, though slightly fatigued. A jalapeno pineapple sounds yummy. Trust me. It is very good, because you get a really good balance between the spice of the jalapeno and the sweetness of the pineapple. So good together. 5522-1 order, medium Hawaiian pizza, 2 medium orders of mozzarella sticks. Following event, subject collided with a freestanding table, pushing the object against the southernmost wall. Subject began walking against the obstruction, their feet moving unimpeded by friction. As the subject moved, the tabletop and center stand were observed to laterally bisect the subject's abdominal and pelvic regions. Subject then began to incrementally move themselves downwards through the tabletop and under the table. Once under the table, subject is believed to have passed through the floor, using the still intercepted center stand to propel themselves downwards. Site appeared at Site-66 unharmed, but complained of moderate fatigue. Good, because the ham and pineapple just goes, yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of that, but pineapple on pizza in general is very good. It's just, it depends on what it blends with. If it blends with other vegetables, also very good. Blending with jalapeno, exceptionally good. Because I generally go for what was known as my previous favourite pizza place in the UK as the Veggie Hot, which is onions, bell peppers, obviously the cheese and tomato, and jalapenos, I believe. And I would always, with a little bit extra, put some pineapple on it, and my god, it was good. 5522-1 order, large meat lovers pizza, 2 large orders of mozzarella sticks, medium order of breadsticks. Following event, subject entered a crouch position and began propelling themselves backwards using their body weight to achieve minor momentum. Over several minutes, subject experienced a dramatic increase in velocity, hopping in a circular motion around the building's interior. This velocity was maintained by the subject jumping immediately upon contact with the ground. After enough momentum had been built, the subject ceased their circular trajectory, instead accelerating towards the southernmost wall before passing through it harmlessly. Subject appeared at Site-66 complaining of severe motion sickness. That's a Mario 64 trick. Addendum 5522.2. Following Level 4 approval, a test was conducted to determine whether an event could be manually extracted, resulting in a free delivery. D30852 was outfitted with a remote shock collar, which would be intermittently activated by Site-66 personnel. The event proceeded as normal until the first electric shock was administered, upon which all active surveillance cameras ceased to function. With everything... After attempts to communicate with security personnel failed, Mobile Task Force Kappa 13, with everything on it, were dispatched to investigate. On-site personnel were discovered dead, showing signs of severe spatial distortion, such as elongated sections of skin, dislocation or relocation of limbs, and loss of cohesion. Corpse of D3085 was unable to be located, though a large amount of ash present when the building was noted. Footnote there, with no other signs of heat damage were found within the building. During post-incident analysis, a pop-up notification was received from 5522-1 that read as follows: User D30852 has been banned from further participation. Attempted tool-assisted speedrun on secure server. The precise meaning of this message is currently under analysis. Wow. Always order Hawaiian, but always tweak to what added to it. I've never gone for Hawaii. I don't like the ham on it. Speedrun pizza. Speedrun pizza. And now we have a old classic from the original series. Followed by one of absolute cosmic horror. SCP-5000 is a massive... It's a massive, long file. And it's a really, really freaky one. So, that'll be good. So it depends on the cut of the ham. I just don't like ham at all. On my pizza to provide speedrun strats? Yes. Yes, all the speedrun strats pizza. The stuff that turns up in my DMs, I swear. Right. Item number, SCP-096. Object class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. 096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside 096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure 096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recording of 096's likeness are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. Herr and 05 Herr. Description: 096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. 096's jaw can open to 4 times the normal for an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether 096 is blind or not. It shows no sign of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. 096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views 096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. 096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after first viewing, 096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 km/h to km/h, and seems to depend on distance from 096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede 096's progress. The actual position of 096-1 does not seem to affect 096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of 096-1's location. Note, its reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. Upon arriving at 096-1's location, 096 will proceed to kill and 096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of 096-1. 096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Data redacted. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breaches of Foundation security and large civilian loss of life, a retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. Dr. has also petitioned for immediate termination of 096. See interview 096-1. Order is awaiting approval. Stricken out. Termination order has been approved and is being carried out by Dr. on data redacted. See incident later on, that thing is. That's a completely different thing. Audio log from interview 096-1. Interviewer Dr. Interviewed Captain retired former commander of retrieval team Zulu 9 Alpha. Retrieval incident 096-1-A. Begin log. Time research area. Captain, always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what's jacked up information the field techies can scrape up. And you're lucky they don't even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag. They didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. Doctor, Can you describe the mission, please? Captain, yes, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9 Beta and Dr. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out there and then. Doctor, your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was -Celsius? Captain, actually it was -, and yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned on my whole squad and saw it. Doctor, that's when 096 entered an agitated emotional state? Captain, yep. Sorry, got the willies for a second. Doctor, that's alright. Captain, yeah. Well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the arse. Doctor, could you describe it a little more, please? Captain, yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, though. It sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help. Fucking A. Anyways, we were blowing chunks out of the target, round after round. Didn't do jack shit. Almost lost it when it started. Data expunged him. Doctor, that's when you ordered the use of a 84 HEDT launcher. Captain, an anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target. Think of the hydration reminder. Right, the tea is still a bit too warm. Doctor, there was significant damage to 096. Captain, it didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, with half its torso gone. It draws a large half circle across his torso. Thank you for the hydration reminder, DJ. Doctor, but it was taking damage. Captain, if it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though. It kept tearing my squad apart. Doctor, so no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at 096? Captain, at the least 1,000. Our door gunner kept his Gal 19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well have been spitting at it. Doctor, this is when Zulu 9 Beta arrived? Captain, yeah, my squad was gone. Zulu 9 Beta managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. We got into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. Jackass. Doctor, we've obtained an artist's depiction of 096's face. Would you like to view it? Captain, you know, after hearing that thing screams and scream with my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just no. Doctor, alright, I believe we're done here. Thank you, Captain. Chairs are heard moving, footsteps leave the room. Captain retired is confirmed to have left interview room 22. Doctor, let this be on record that I am formally requesting 096 be terminated as soon as possible. End log. We can go to a random quote. Guess I don't think I can get you up. Yeah, that is very fitting for this. Oh, God. Yeah, the early ones are kind of more simplistically and more simplistically written and less wordy, but they're by no means any worse off for it. Oh my God, just seeing what the next one is. Whatever happens after I read, I don't care if I overrun a little bit. I'm going to see how the time goes. But the next SCP, 4680, I have to read because it's amazing. And for those of you who haven't seen it, or heard it, it's a treat. It's a very big treat. But first, item number, SCP-5000. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. 5000 is to be kept in a deactivated state within a standard storage unit located at Site 22. All files and intelligence retrieved from 5000 are to be stored on a secure server with backups available upon request from the archival department. Get out to head to bed? No. That's entirely fair though, Best. Thanks for coming as long as you did anyway. And have yourself a good sleep. I'll see you later. Description. 5000 is a non-functional mechanical suit identified within its internal schematics as an absolute exclusion harness designed by the SCP Foundation. Although 5000 is believed to have once possessed a number of anomalous functions intended to protect and benefit its occupant, damage inflicted to it in the past means it is currently only capable of basic file storage. For a record of files contained within 5000 upon recovery, see Archive 5000-1. 5000 first appeared in a flash of light within 579's containment chamber at Site 62C on 12/04/2020, containing a corpse. Footnote of cause of death determined to be blunt force trauma, believed to be inflicted by impact with the ground following a long fall. Genetically identical to Foundation employee Pietro Wilson. Pietro Wilson is currently employed at exclusionary Site 06. Footnote on that is one of a series of installations designed to retain information following reality shifts or other temporal restructuring events. And Memestic Therapy has confirmed he has no knowledge of 5000 or memories concerning the events detailed within its archives. Archive 5000-1. Journal entry 001/1. My name is Pietro Wilson. I don't know what's happening. I think I might be the only one left. The date is 02/01/2020. Sorry, thought the transcription is tricky, so I'm not used to this yet. The date is 02/01/2020. I have just escaped from exclusionary Site 06. I'm not certain, but I think everyone else is dead. Those guys, they were thorough. If I hadn't got to the suit, I'd be, oh God. Journal entry 1/2. I need to get myself together, or this thing is going to be illegible at all. Most likely they want some kind of record of this whole incident for posterity. I'm currently on my way to the nearest Foundation installation, a small safe house for agents making their way through this part of the country. Most likely there won't be anyone there, but I should be able to get into contact with my superiors and find out what exactly is going on. Things started around 6, maybe 7 hours ago. A group identifying themselves as Mobile Task Force Zeta 19, lonely only, urgent insurgent infiltrators maybe, entered the site and they had proper identification and everything. Gathered everyone into the canteen, then they just started shooting. Jesus, I can still taste the blood. I can't get that awful metal taste off my tongue. It's a miracle I didn't get hit or trampled on. People were climbing over each other to get out of there. If I hadn't gone to the exclusion harness, I'd be dead. No doubt about it. Like I said, they were thorough. I'm a technician for the power grid on ES06, so I don't fully get how this thing works, but I understand the basics. This perception filter thing doesn't mean people can't see me, but it does mean they can't recognize the fact they can see me, which I guess is the same thing when you get down to it. Those infiltrators, they didn't even take anything, didn't even try to. I watched it after I got into this thing. I was too scared. Fucking coward. To make a run for it. They checked the bodies and left, and entered a bullet for every head. They were just there to kill us. Hello and welcome. You're here and you're in the background. Cool. Journal entry 1/3. Finally made it to the safe house after hours and hours of trudging through this goddamn desert. Heard a few explosions in the distance. Maybe the Foundation sent MTF to engage those infiltrators before they got away. Hope so. Never been as happy to see bottled water in my life. The higher sustains your body while you're wearing it, apparently, but my mind still thinks I should be drinking. Human nature, I guess. Anyway, once I get these legs of mine rested, I'm going to try and get these systems online. I need to get in touch with the Foundation and find out exactly what's going on. Journal entry 1/4. Holy shit. Downloaded file 1/1. Context. They sent this to every government, news organisation and anonymous agency on the planet. Fuck me. The following is a message composed via consensus of the O5 Council. For those who are not currently aware of our existence, we represent the organisation known as the SCP Foundation. Our previous mission centred around the containment and study of anonymous objects, entities and other assorted phenomena. This mission was the focus of our organisation for more than 100 years. Due to circumstances outside of our control, this directive has now changed. Our new mission will be the extermination of the human race. There will be no further communication. Composed file 1/1. Immediately following the release of their worldwide announcement, the Foundation began their assault on mankind. The response to the anomalies the Foundation let loose was as quick as it could have been, but the damage is being done. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on, but from my position here, accessing Foundation network and keeping track of the news, I've managed to grasp a little. I'm going to get everything I know down so that when this is over, if anyone's still alive, they'll know what happened to us. 096. Action taken. Images of 096's face circulated on social media platforms. Death toll had already reached the hundreds before the images were taken down. For all I know, that thing is still going. SCP-169. Action taken. A series of nuclear charges are detonated within and along 169's back, causing it to stir in its sleep slightly. The resultant earthquake and tsunamis devastate a significant number of coastal settlements around the world. SCP-662, action taken over the course of 24 hours. An individual whose appearance matches that of Mr. Deed's appearance in the vicinity of several major heads of state and assassinates them using whatever tools are immediately available, disappearing just as quickly. I don't know why they stopped after the first day. SCP-610, action taken. Samples of 610 are dispersed and embedded Foundation agents within many major cities, including New York and Delhi. All civilians in the area, along with the agents themselves, are quickly infected and succumb to 610. Further spread of 610 is halted by the combined efforts of the Global Occult Coalition and the Church of the Broken God. SCP-682, action taken, released. I don't understand why that's happening. We need to do much more with 682, just, let him go. Downloaded file 1/2. Context. News footage I managed to download between drinking sessions. Begin log. Reporter Maria Henderson is speaking from inside a GOC evacuation tent. Scrolling header indicates that she is speaking on the outskirts of Trosa, Sweden. Behind her, patients can be seen being treated by doctors in full protective gear. Maria herself is wearing a surgical mask, pulled up slightly to allow her to speak into the microphone, which kind of defeats the purpose, if you ask me. Maria, repeating what's been previously put out by the Global Occult Coalition, residents that have not already evacuated are advised to seal themselves inside their homes as quickly as possible, using whatever materials are available. One of the doctors attending a patient stands up with urgency, looking over to a soldier standing over the beds. Doctor, we've got exploration, get the eraser ready. Maria Henderson quickly begins moving out of the tent, out into a field filled with similar installations. A loud buzzing sound can be heard from the tent behind her, and several flashing lights can be seen. Thick smoke pours out a gap on the top of the tent. Maria, any individuals still in a compromised area are advised to keep careful watch over those around them. If any family or friends begin exuding a noticeable minty smell, they are to be quarantined immediately. Feed cuts out. I later found this is when television stopped everywhere. Internet 2, well gone blind in a few seconds. End log. Journal entry 1/5. It's funny, with the supplies in this place, not to mention the exclusion harness, I could probably survive for years right here. But the idea of being sat here with no idea what's going on in the outside world is unbearable. Still, I'm not sure whether I really want to know what's happening out there either. When I was a kid, I'm real sick all the time, but I'm not able to go out that much. I was really into detective stories, Sherlock Holmes and all that shit. I always wanted to figure things out. Anyway, my dad had this row of pot plants on the wall outside the house, and they were always getting knocked over, but he could never figure out what was doing it. That was pretty much at my peak of my detective obsession, so I was on the case like nothing else. I was a stupid shit, so I couldn't actually deduce anything, you understand. So I ended up buying this cheap spy camera recording the wall overnight. It was a stray cat. My dad ended up kicking it to death like I should have known he would. Curiosity, well, you know the saying. Everyone involved would have been better off if I minded my own business, except my dad, but fuck him. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, but I'd rather be doing something than nothing. Besides, if I have the exclusion harness, nothing that would want to hurt me will ever know I'm there. I'm a tourist at the end of the world. Destination Site 19, closest real Foundation installation. Only makes sense. I'm getting some answers. Recorded file 01/01. Context: encounter with Foundation elements a few days after leaving my shelter, watching weird behaviour. Begin log. Viewing a group of Foundation soldiers in a clearing from a distance, 9 in total stood in line. A 10th soldier, the commander, is silently pacing back and forth in front of them. Uniforms and insignia look like those for MTF Epsilon 6, village idiots. After a few seconds, the commander claps her hands once and steps towards the line. Commander, first soldier in line. Performing the check now? Soldier 1, of course. Commander takes out a knife and stabs a soldier in the shoulder. There is no reaction. Commander, remove knife, get that wound treated. Soldier nods, the commander proceeds to stab each shoulder in line in the same way, with no reaction from any of the victims until the 8 who noticeably winces. Soldier 8, ah! Commander shouting, got a live one! The commander and other soldiers quickly aim their guns and fire upon soldier number 8, killing him. He drops to the ground. The commander then moves to the 9th soldier and stabs him in the shoulder. No visible reaction. Commander, alright, we're clear, move out. MTF Epsilon 6 packs up the supplies and leaves the area, leaving the corpse of the dead soldier where it is. Managed to retrieve weaponry and basic medical supplies from the body. Bury it as well as I can afterwards. End log. Closing notes. No fucking clue. Recorded file 1/2. Context: weird transmission I caught on an old radio. Don't know if it's important, but trying to get everything down for posterity. Begin log. Audio only. Voice is male around my age, I'd guess. Voice 7 5. Can you hear me? There's a hole shining in the holes between your eyelids. I've never been to Versailles before. I want to be loved. 9. I am standing behind you now. 5. I am 2 of us standing behind you now. The goddess eats the city in the sea. 9. There's a hole in the floor with an answer waiting in it. 7. Look, you're hatching. You're hatching. Message continues on loop. End log. Closing notes. Message stopped once I turned the radio over and saw it was damaged beyond repair. Am I feeling okay? Journal entry 1/6, and this one is brilliant. Just for the X thing. This is like attached picture. And the footnote for it is, oh shit, I can put pictures in these things. Journal entry 1/6. When I thought of Site 19 as being relatively close by, I never really took into account that it was probably with a vehicle in mind. Can't risk cars or anything like that, even if I went unnoticed. The vehicle wouldn't. All it takes is one Foundation soldier or wandering anomaly to spot and I'm good as dead. I know, right? Literally, I was like, oh shit, I can put pictures in. But still, marching through the woods, even with the harness's protection, isn't the most pleasant experience. It'd be hard to move out of the way if anything came traipsing through, for one. Just because things can't notice me doesn't mean they can't run me down. Gives me time to think though, like, why the hell am I even going to Site 19? What do I hope to accomplish? If I want to stay out of danger, survive as long as possible, I'd be best suited getting as far away from any Foundation personnel as possible, not jumping right into Viper's nest. Answers, I guess. More than anything, I want answers, if I get kicked to death afterwards. Composed file 1/2. Reached Site 19. Security's in disrepair. Most of the anomalies let loose a while ago, so it was actually pretty easy to get in. Still stressful, moving out of the way of researchers as they went about their business. They were still talking like colleagues, discussing how to get maximum human casualties like it was something they'd always been doing. But their eyes, like something was missing from them, some spark. I couldn't see them as human looking at their eyes. Maybe not even alive. Hard to describe, but it gave me the creeps. Accessing the Foundation database with some Solon senior staff credentials, I think I've managed to put together a basic timeline of what happened right before their declaration of war. I don't know what it all means, but I guess it's a start. 16/12/2019, the O5 marketing project called Numa at the beginning of the special as being of special interest to senior staff. Apparently, it was a mass amnesticization project like Kaleidoscope, except mostly focused on the collective human unconscious, the psychospace, whatever you want to call it. Apparently there was some kind of breakthrough in mapping out the psychospace, except I can't see what it was because it's fucking redacted. Typical. 17/12/2019. A vote is undertaken by the O5 Council, with the result being being unanimous. Ethics Committee also concurs. Don't know what the votes were about because it's fucking redacted. 19/12/2019. A series of instructions, redacted instructions of course, are being sent to all senior staff members and site directors. A wave of suicides and resignations go out across the Foundation, with Dr. Charles Gears being one of the employees resigning. 22/12/2019. A number of files are sent out to all remaining security staff, senior staff members and site directors, with instructions to also disseminate those materials among the staff serving under them. The files are accompanied by the message, "Harden your hearts." All suicides and resignations immediately cease following dissemination of these materials. 25/12/2019. Full block on all communications in and out of Foundation sites. Termination of the majority of human and human sympathetic anomalies is performed by the staff at each site over the course of the next week. Information suggests an assassination team was sent out after Dr. Charles Gears, but it doesn't say whether they were successful or not. 2/1/2020. Mobile task forces are dispatched to all exclusionary sites to execute all personnel. Immediately following conclusion of these missions, the Foundation declares war on humanity. I'm not quite certain what this means. Did the O5 Council send out some kind of mimetic agent to get everyone to go along with them? But that wouldn't explain why the O5 Council would want to wipe out humanity in the first place. I don't get it. I just don't get it. More information on the anomalies the Foundation is actively using too. With the news down, it's hard to get much solid info out of their own records, and even those are still goddamn fucking redacted. I mean, it's the end of the world. What's the point of redacting shit anymore? Who cares? Just tell me what's going on. Oh, fuck it, I'll put it all on the table for posterity or whatever. SCP-1370, action taken. Television service temporarily returns. All channels are propaganda speeches from 1370 rambling on and on about how he's going to take over the world or whatever. This one actually isn't that bad. 1048. I don't know how the Foundation manages to catch the thing in the first place, but the helicopter footage shows hordes of bears created by 1048. Why is it always bears? Rushing through the streets of Paris. Parisian bears. I think I'm going to have to just call this one Parisian bears. Um, 1290/1 and 1290/2 are moved from their original positions and used as a rudimentary projectile system to launch projectiles at secure GOC installation called Ganzir. Footnote of a fortress city standing in the Atlantic Ocean, designed to house humanity's survivors in the event of an end-of-the-world scenario. Not 100% sure from the files, but it looks like it's just one of a frankly obscene number of anomalies that they're using to try and bust in there. If you ask me, they're better off just firing missiles, but nobody is asking me because they've all gone nuts. Redacted bears. There we are. Redacted Parisian bears. There we are. Oh. 1440. 1440 is transported from the refugee camp to refugee camp by Mobile Task Force New 22, Rocket Men, where its anomalous effects cause rapid devastation to those fleeing communities. Strangely enough, the way these events are described in the files make it sound like 1440 actually has no effect on the Foundation personnel assigned to it. 1678. The Foundation intentionally abandons containment of 1678, removing personnel from the immediate area. Once chaos caused by additional anomalies makes evacuation of London impossible, officials from the British Occult Service, footnote of, colloquially referred to as MI666, direct citizens to take refuge in 1678 below. Once the city has reached capacity, the Foundation detonates a nuclear device stationed there prior to abandonment. Let's try and investigate some more of these before getting ahead. See what I can find out. Thank you for your contribution to One Off Game Stream Challenge. Hold up Ghost Cat. Hey, look, a cat I'm not allergic to. Aww. I mean, yeah. Maybe one of those Sphinx cats as well? Maybe you might not be allergic to that. I don't know. Files deleted. Journal entry 1/7. It's been about 3 months since my last entry. God knows what I've been doing since then. The time between then and now is a complete blank in my memory. Looks like the files from that period have been deleted as well. As far as I know, I should be the only one able to do that, so take that as you will. I seem like I've been through a few rough patches. I have a few scars I don't quite recognise. I have a bandage wrapped around my temple. The exclusion heights doesn't seem to be damaged though, so I don't know what hurt me. Did I fall off a cliff or something? Sad part is I can actually see myself doing something like that. Never was the smartest. Site 19 is long gone. Well, it's still there, I assume, but I'm halfway across the country. Couldn't tell you why. It's weird, though. I feel like I have a purpose now, even though I'm not 100% sure what it is. Just where I need to go. There's a briefcase in my hand. I'm having trouble recalling what exactly inside it. All I know that it isn't round. And that I need to get to SCP-579. Files deleted. Journal entry 1/8. I underestimated how long it would take to get to 579. Site 19 was a trek all on its own, but 579 is another story entirely. Wouldn't even know where it was without this documentation, which I have no idea how I obtained, but that's beside the point. I've stopped counting the corpses I've walked past. It's probably in the quadruple digits now. Jesus, maybe higher. Came across the dead body of a kid, little boy, in a house I was grabbing some supplies from a while back. At first I thought he'd just been shot in the head, but when I went to bury him I could see there were things moving underneath his skin. Little pale worms, hundreds of them. Poured out the second I touched them. They all had his face. They were all laughing, scurried off into the drain. I don't try to bury people anymore. Keeping going is a lot more difficult than you'd think. Files deleted. Compose file 1/3. This thing in the briefcase is a godsend. Don't know what the hell the thing is, but if things are getting too much for me, I just need to open it up, and the next thing I know, I'm miles further along from where I was, feeling all warm inside like something gave me a pep talk. It's like my own personal skip button for when things are going rough. Managed to get temporary access to the Foundation database from the corpse of an agent I found half buried in the woods. Wolves were already helping themselves to him, but they obviously didn't mind me taking his laptop. Didn't notice me anyway. The Foundation is still throwing everything they've got at everyone else. I'll put it on a table, might as well. 2000. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone, obliterating SCP-2000. For now, anomalies deployed by the Mana Charitable Foundation have slowed down the environmental effects at an absurd rate, but still just a matter of time before we choke on ash. 2200. Somehow the Foundation seems to have mass-produced 2200-1, and those swords are making their ways into the hands of the refugees. All the victims the 2200-1 are cutting down, 2200-3 is overflowing, with a mountain of living 2200-4 trapped under a mountain of dead 220-4. 2241. One of the few human anomalies that weren't terminated. It appears that 2241 is being used as a living weapon to destroy the biggest refugee camps that crop up, forcing survivors to remain in smaller groups. Unknown how they're getting it to be that loyal, but I doubt it's pleasant. Last information on 2241 says that it's being deployed to assist with the siege at Ganzir. Apparently that's still having some trouble. 2466 was constantly being used in order to compel survivors originating from California to perform actions both socially disruptive and physically hostile. This was apparently effective, but after the 4,020th use of 2466, it crashed and became unusable. Guess there weren't any residents left. 2639 was being dispatched to survivor communities and installation for groups that oppose the Foundation in order to kill everyone present. Apparently they were told that they were fighting monsters that escaped from containment and were destroying the world. Clearly they figured out that wasn't the case because they refused to do anything since about the 6th time they were deployed. Good for them. Journal entry 1/9. It's nice having company, even if they don't know you're there. I'm sat around a fire with a group of GOC soldiers who are trying to let their way. Well, I don't think they actually have anywhere to go at this point. Just wandering, maybe. I thought about revealing myself, trying to ask them to help me get to 579, but I don't want to risk it. Maybe I'll just go on used to not existing. Forget being a tourist. I'm a ghost. This suit really is a wonder. Managed to access the connection to the GOC database with it while I'm making coffee. The news isn't good. Downloaded file 1/3. Context. Interview log from an interrogation facility inside Ganzir. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time a captured member of Foundation personnel has spoken during interrogation. Interviewer is the Commander Morrison, with a scientist called Dr. Rhodes who also being there. The guy being interrogated is a member of Mobile Task Force Omega-2 Secret Keepers, Samuel Ross. No video, only audio, and don't know if there's something wrong with the file or just the way it's recorded in the first place. Begin log. Morrison, do you know where you are? Ross, I'm in Ganzir, right? You guys grabbed us while we were trying to sneak in. Morrison, that's right. Do you know why you're here? Ross, you're going to interrogate me, I assume? Morrison, Doctor, Rhodes, confirmed. Subject has nothing implanted inside him. No mental agents or cognitive hazard either. You're safe to begin. Morrison, okay. None of your colleagues we've spoken to have talked. Not a one, not a word. Why are you talking to me now? Ross, we've met before, do you remember? Morrison, I'm sorry. Ross, in that joint operation in Tenerife a few years back with the Seagull Prince, do you remember? I was wearing a gas mask back then, so you probably don't recognise me, but I recognise you, and it gave me a chuckle. That's why I'm talking. Morrison, that's the only reason? Ross, yep. Morrison, when we caught you trying to sneak into the city with the refugees, you and your comrades started firing into the crowd at random. Men, women, and children all murdered for no reason. Don't you think that's crazy? Ross just laughs. Rhodes, fucker. Morrison, that's funny to you. Ross, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, it's just, I thought that was a little hypocritical. Morrison, what? Ross, well, I mean, you're interrogating me like the information you get will help you, but there's no time for you to really do anything the way I see it. No matter how many times you fire Abel at her, Professor Crow's Europa will rip this place open before long. But if you're still acting like you can do something about it, don't you think that's crazy? Morrison, you've just spoken up to talk nonsense. We could all try enhanced interrogation. I don't want to, but I'll do it. Ross, do what you want. Once you realise you're not supposed to feel pain, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Morrison, what do you mean by that? Ross, you? No, you wouldn't want me to say. Morrison, I very much do. Ross, I'm not talking to you. Morrison, that doesn't make any sense. Tell me now. Ross, you're sure? Morrison, we're still good on inoculations. Rhodes, clear on all Foundation kill agents, yeah. Morrison, then spit it out, Ross. Stop stalling, we'll have to get unpleasant. Ross, fine. Inaudible. Morrison, I didn't catch that. Rhodes, you'll have to speak up. That microphone only has so much gain. Ross, information excised. Commander Morrison, Dr. Rhodes can be heard screaming loudly. Wet cracks and sounds of rushing wind are also audible. The screaming, which grows higher pitched over time, continues for the remainder of the recording. Ross, look what you've done to yourselves. I told you wouldn't like it, didn't you? That's why you hear your voice. But you wanted to know so badly. I really liked you guys, so I was trying to be nice. We're so kind to you, you know. We fight in the light so you can die in the dark. Pause. Disgusting. 682. End log. Closing notes. Apparently, right after this, some kind of emergency arose inside Ganzir, and the city ended up being destroyed from both the inside and outside. Files don't mention the specifics, but the GOC may be done. Files deleted. Journal entry 1/10. It's getting hard to keep going. When the GOC were keeping up the fight, there was this sense that things could still be turned around. But with them on the run now too, it's easy to feel there's no point in all this. With Ganzir taken care of, the Foundation has turned their full attention back to everyone else. I don't eat or drink anymore. The heart takes care of all that anyway, and there's too much of a risk of that anything I consume will be contaminated by one of the awful viruses the Foundation is trying to spread. I've seen corpses in pretty much every state imaginable by this point, some of them walking around even. Every time I open the briefcase to skip, I make a little less progress. Feel a little worse. What was happening to me before? It's like I've grown numb to it. Wouldn't be the only thing. Why am I even going to 579? Do I actually have a reason? Compose file 1/4. Foundation's still fucking us. Here's a table about it. 3078. Apparently the Church of the Broken God managed to get the internet back up and running in some areas. Only the Foundation fucked that pretty quickly by uploading thousands of copies of 3078 through pretty much every medium available, so the internet went back down. 3179. Thing was freed from containment after the Church of the Broken God started trying to rebuild things, sparked a civil war inside of the church over whether this thing is Makane or not, which put a real damper on their ability to help out. Plus, it's making about as many fucking Terminator things as it can, so that's fun. 3199. The eggs are now being airdropped pretty much wherever. I'm sure you can imagine how that's going. Might write more later. Journal entry 1/11. I've been making my way towards 579. Maybe a little slower than before, but who can blame me for lack of motivation? Been seeing some strange things lately. Stranger than usual, I mean. First are the blinkers. There's been quite a few of those around later. Now, I'm pretty sure these were created by the Foundation, even if I don't know how. Don't know most things, so this just adds to the list. The statues. Statues of soldiers. MTF uniforms with empty sockets for eyes. Their arms are carved into blades, like we'd see on a praying mantis or something. They're harmless as long as you look at them, but the second you look away, they can move. And they're fast. Saw one cut through an entire crowd of people when a gust of smoke blocked it from view for just a second. I'm wary of them. Me looking at them stops them too. So even if they don't perceive where I am, they're going to deduce that I'm there. Might just start slicing everything in sight, and then that's the end of me. Need to do my best to avoid them completely. Second thing I saw is, well, it's a lot weirder. It was on the horizon, like a person stretched out. No, that's not the best way to describe it. It was like the space around them was stretched out, and they were being stretched along with it. It's like some kind of bad Photoshop effect. Their body went from the ground up to the clouds, and their jaws swung at right angles. They were these gaps as well, black gaps in the space around its body, like wings. It just floated forwards like that. God, they made weeping angels. Weeping angels and bears. The fuck? There were Foundation guys there too, but they were fighting it, shooting it with guns and rockets. How fucked up is it that I'm thinking of Foundation fighting an anomaly is weird? Maybe they were like me, managed to get out when it's all kicked off. Thoughts about talking to them, but decided not to. Can't risk it. Got there. I need to get to 579. Need to do something. Anything. It's been out for you. It's not. Well, I mean, that's not what this is. Like, what was just described was not the peanut. Journal entry 1/12. Saw a kid die today. Could have helped her. Didn't. I'm a piece of shit. Proposed file 1/4. SCP-4290. Through use of a sample of 008 enhanced by 914, the Foundation reanimates the corpse of 4290 and lets it loose. Kaiju Mancers from the Serpent's Hand engage. I'm sorry, but I just have to sit and imagine what the fuck a world with Kaiju Mancers is. Oh my god. Wow. The file isn't clear on what the results are. The library detached from its universe, but it looks like these guys stayed behind. Idiots. SCP-4666. The Foundation uses temporal anomalies to make it so it's technically Christmas everywhere. Oh, fuck it. Nobody's ever going to read this anyway. Drop the video in your media share for later. Oh, cool. I'll have a look at that. Recorded file 1/3. Context, no input. Begin log. Views of the interior of an abandoned jewelry store from the front door. The night sky can be seen through a broken window. A teenage girl is sitting in a makeshift fire in the middle of the store. A ruby amulet is hanging around her neck. That ruby amulet links to SCP-963, which I believe is Dr. Bright's immortality or amulet. Let me just double check that. Yes, it is. Perception filter is disabled. The girl jumps back, alert, picking up a rusty pipe as a weapon. Girl, who are you? Pietro, I recognized you. The necklace, I mean. Pause, the girl groans, dropping the pipe. Girl, oh shit, they sent you to kill me. You're gonna be here a while. Pietro, no, I got away too. Did you get away too? Girl leans forward, squinting to see Pietro's face. Jesus, you look like shit, pal. When's the last time you slept? Pietro, the suit, you don't need to sleep, put it on. Girl, you do need to sleep. Your face is just, it's seriously a disaster, man. You hate to see it. Pietro, can I come in? Girl steps back, gesturing theatrically at the store with one arm. But of course, there's enough broken glass for everyone. Pietro staggers in and sits down on the floor. The sound of crunching glass can be heard. Girl, I was joking, you know. You could have grabbed a chair. Pietro, it's fine. The suit's sturdy. Girl, suit yourself. It's down opposite. It's a fancy piece of kit you got there. Gestures to the necklace. Want trade? Pietro, laugh. No way, I've read the file. Girl, worth a shot. Been a while since you laughed, huh? Pietro, not been much to laugh at. Girl, not even where Pesterbot showed up on all the TVs. Pietro, okay, that was kind of funny. Girl, so you got away too. I mean, I'm assuming you're a Foundation guy, not one of the many people I've pissed off in my lifetime here for revenge. Pietro, aren't those the same thing? Girl, now you're getting it. Pietro, yeah, I'm Foundation. Was Foundation, I mean. Got lucky when all started, got into a suit and escaped. You? Girl, well, I was senior staff. We would have been told about the plan before anyone else, but damn if I can't remember what it was. Probably because of the second file. Pietro, the second file? You saw it? Well, what was it? Girl, whoa, cool your jets, kid. We've got all the time in the world. They were just a bunch of images. Eggs, trees, religious stuff. Didn't mean anything to me by themselves, but I guess they had something encoded in them. Didn't take it like they should have. Taps on the necklace. Probably because of this thing. Pietro says down, so it was a mimetic agent. Girl, I don't know about that. I've pretty much had everything that can happen to me, well, happen to me. I know what a mimetic agent feels like. Didn't feel like that. More like I was being released from something and then something being forced on me. Pietro, I see. So you don't really know what's going on either. Girl, nope. Pietro, fuck. Fuck. Pause. The girl removes a small bottle of beer from her pocket and takes a swig. So you're heading somewhere or just wandering around feeling sorry for yourself? Pietro, I'm heading to 579. Girl, if you're suicidal, there are easier ways to go about it, believe me. Pietro, you know what it is? Girl, not a clue, which is concerning because I'm kind of a big deal. Pietro, no, it doesn't matter, I have to get there. Girl, why? Pietro, I just do. Where are you headed? Girl, 1437, go see if I can't piss into another universe, then slow this amulet down there and see where I wake up. Pietro, sounds like a plan. Good luck to you. Girl, I'd wish you good luck too. We both know you're not getting it. Day's about to break. I'm heading off. Pietro, okay. Girl stands up and moves to the front door. She lingers at the entrance to the store for a moment. I hope you find what you're looking for at least. She leaves. Pietro, me too. End log. Files deleted. Journal entry 1/13. Hi journal, it's been a while. Right now I'm looking at site 62C, where 579 is supposed to be. There are no guards as far as I can see, and all the security is down. Looks like the place has been abandoned for a long while. I was under the impression this place was extremely high priority, but it looks like the Foundation doesn't agree with me anymore. I have a briefcase in my hands. It's difficult to breathe. I feel like everything will end soon one way or another. I'm heading in. Journal entry 1/14. Hi again, Journal. I know I ended the last entry so dramatically. It's been about 30 seconds since then, but I have an important update. The second I got close to Site 62C, I got a feeling like someone was pressing a gun against the back of my head. Like I was standing on the edge of a roof and someone's hands were on my back, ready to push me. Some fight or flight shit dialed up as far as it would go. I don't know what 579 is, but I know it's looking at me. Recorded file 1/4. Context. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Begin log. Viewers inside of a hallway within Site 62C. Severe damage is visible on the wall, appearing as if it was done via usage of a large knife. The lights overhead flicker. Pietro, fuck. Fuck. Lights flicker again. When they come back on, a statue of a soldier with blades for arms is visible underneath them. It has empty eye sockets where its eyes should be, and its face is locked in a snarling expression. End log. Closing notes. Was wrong. They're here. Journal entry 1/15. Was right. Even though they can't notice me, they figured out I'm here, slashing everything in sight. Gouged around my legs. Hurts like shit, but need to keep moving. Not chasing me, but they're heading into the same place. Need to get there first. Need to keep watching them. Journal entry 1/16. Made it. 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 I made it. Journal entry 1/17. That's not fair. But I made it. That's not fair. They're stuck behind the door. I can hear them slashing at it, but it's reinforced. We'll hold for a little while. A couple of minutes at least. I'm in an observation chamber full of instruments for monitoring 579. The actual containment chamber is right below me. I can barely see it. If I strain my eyes a little, there's a hole. There's a hole in the floor that leads right down there. I know where 579 is. Even if the instruments weren't here, I can feel it. You can't be near it without feeling it, probably. For a second, I thought I could just drop the briefcase into the hole and be done with it, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it? After walking halfway across the world, I guess I haven't earned the right for something to be easy. Okay. From the angle of the hole and where 579 is, the briefcase wouldn't even come close to touching it. The only way it's making contact is if I was to jump into the hole and throw it on my way down. But that height, throwing the briefcase would be the last thing I'd do. Of course. Of fucking course. It's taken me my whole life to realise, but I'm not the kind of person that could be a detective. I'm just a murder victim. I die for someone else's story, and the human race is going with me. I know who done it, how done it, but those are obvious. Everyone knows those. Those are handed to me. I don't know why. In the end, I couldn't even figure out a single thing. Why is this happening? Why is the Foundation killing everybody? Why is this happening? Why do they send out those files? Why is this happening? Why did Ganzir fall? Why is this happening? Why am I taking this briefcase across the world? Why is this happening? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I going to die? Is there a reason? If anyone is ever reading this, please, please figure it out. Explain it to me. Someone, anyone. I don't get it. I don't get it. They're about to get in. First foot forwards. SCP-579 is provided as an image. And it's titled Look Closer. So let's just bring that up. Look closer. I see nothing. Journal entry 1/18. Oh, so that's how it is. Life signs lost. And there's the end of it. It's a fucking chilling one, that. That is really freaking chilling. And next one, maybe... I might have to split this and add the rest of the ones to the third stream. However, we have to do this one. We have to, because this one's amazing. It's fairly short as well, so it'll be fine. Item number SCP-4680, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures 4860 is to be kept in a humanoid containment cell at Site 59. As per the 5/2018 ruling of the Ethics Committee, 4680 is to be provided with no more than 5 bottles of inexpensive red wine per day upon request. Due to 4680's hostile nature, resilience to standard issue sedatives and tranquilizers, as well as its anomalous regenerative capabilities, this has proven to be the most effective method of pacification, sedation, and maintenance of its mental health during containment. Description: SCP-4680, known as Grigory Rasputin prior to containment, is a biologically immortal male humanoid entity. The subject does not age, and displays a rapid form of regenerative healing to wounds sustained. This ability is limited in that it cannot regrow amputated extremities, which appears to be a source of severe aggression and sadness for the subject. 4680 displays extreme hostility and resilience to containment, along with advanced stages of alcoholism. The physical elements of the latter condition appear to be negated by its regenerative capabilities. 4680 gained notoriety for its involvement in Imperial Russian politics prior to the formation of the Soviet Union, and was reportedly assassinated on the 30th of December 1916. According to 4680, its regenerative capabilities allowed for the subject to fake its death, then escape to a small farm near the town of Krasnoyarsk. The subject resurfaced in 2016, following a string of attempted burglaries of the Museum of Russian Erotica in St. Petersburg. Following its arrest, 4680 was transferred into Foundation custody from Russian authorities upon the discovery of its anomalous effect. Upon containment, a disorganized series of notes was found among 4680's belongings. Though largely illegible, undated, and filled with a system of shorthand that appears to be of the subject's own design, the following passages have shed light onto 4680's anomalous qualities. Fucking Rasputin, yes. Yes, Rasputin is an SCP. Excerpt 1. Troubling news to report. Today I talked with one member of the Synod who actually knows what he's doing. It would appear that all the women I've bedded have finally placed me forever away from the eyes of God. I am beyond repentance, and will face all the eternal torments of hell upon my death. To despair about this would do nothing. I must look at this problem from a pragmatic approach. Now that God has turned his back on me, I must take my salvation into my own hands. But how? Perhaps inspiration will come with me over my 5 o'clock with Nastya. Exit 2. Took lodgings in Minsk. Saw a circus freak show on the way to meet Svetlana and her 2 cousins. The indestructible man was among them. Shot, poisoned, impaled from ear to ear with a hot iron. Burned. Never once stopped screaming to fall down and die. This should not be possible. Excerpt 3. Snuck into the circus at night. Spoke with the indestructible man. He has a name. Pyotr. Very intelligent. I thought he was another inbred vagrant subjected to humanity's instinct to point and laugh, but this was a learned student of a French university. His indestructibility was his own doing. He knows the technique. I freed him on the condition that he would share his technique with me. This could be the breakthrough I need. Excerpt 4. The odd thing about immortality, nobody tells you about all the migraines. Better than eternal damnation, I suppose. Excerpt 5. Yusupov and his friends invited me to their house to fail at killing me. Still, they put a lot of effort into it, so I played along. Don't like to disappoint hosts without necessity. Woke up in the river 2 days later. Think I'll take the train east and change my name. Lay low for a while. Have I fucked anyone in Krasnoyarsk yet? Excerpt 6. Some insane Marxist book clubs killed my Tsarina and the mustachioed twitch she lived with. My heart is broken, my body is tired, and I've emptied my last bottle of Madeira. Now that suicide is no longer possible, perhaps I'd better sleep for a while, till the world can offer unfamiliar wonders that may satisfy me yet. Exit 7. In an unimaginable act of cruelty, I've been robbed of what is most precious to me in my sleep, to proclaim it is now the only thing that matters. Lord, I repent every year I've spent cheating my death. I am old beyond what I deserve. Please give your full and majestic strength one last time to reclaim that which is greater than myself. Excerpt 8, the final one. Unforgivable! Nicholas, you whore! I hope Lenin skills you alive in hell! My penis is in a museum! That is the... the best ending to any SCP. That's not even a joke one, that's actually canonical. Wow. Thank you for that hydration, man, DJ. Oh my god. My penis is in a museum. Oh my god. When I first read that, I was not expecting that to happen. Like, what the fuck, where's this leading? I go to X88, I just lost it. I just fucking lost it. Wow. Okay, so how are we doing on... Okay, that's a very long one. 278 is very long. 085, it's fairly short by comparison. And 5500 is also... That was unnerving. I was hearing a slight audio pop when I was looking at some of the last of the scenes. So I've got 35 minutes left before handing the reins over to Lydia and hunting some monsters. So I will do as much as I can with the time I've got, and anything that I haven't gotten to read will be appended to the next time I do a re-record session. Excuse me. Okay, so item number. It says SCP-2718, but it does keep changing. Object class, catastrophic abort at D09ESAD9, handle not found. That's code. Special containment procedures. The SCP is a Dameron class cognito hazard. All personnel, regardless of clearance, are forbidden to expose themselves to the description of this article under any circumstances. Do not tamper with this warning without Dameron clearance. Do not discuss the existence of this article with any person. No disciplinary action will be necessary, provided you close this article now and clear your browser cache. Atypical software measures have been used to mitigate the risk of accidental exposure. It is only by an unfortunate coincidence of extremely low probability that you have stumbled across this entry at all. No disciplinary action will be necessary, provided you close this article now and clear your browser cache. Since creation, only the spatial containment procedures section of this record has ever been editable, due to the clearance of the file's original author and anomalous database limitations in effect. This record can neither be deleted nor effectively redacted. Access restrictions cannot be applied to the data in any reliable way. Of course, access restrictions can still be enforced. It is now all too late to close this article. Do not discuss the existence of this article with any person. Notify the help desk that your workstation has a Dameron contamination. Shut off your monitor and seek immediate amnestic treatment. Following conditions shall constitute a breach. 1. Exposure to any part of the description, however briefly. 2. Failure to close this article within 18 seconds of exposure without clearance. That came at a really good moment. Small Bean Gamer, hello and welcome, and thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciated, and welcome to the clutch. Shut off your monitor now. Notify the data breach that you and your workstation have Dameron contamination. Await MTF processing. Dameron eyes only. Agent instructions. Jesus. Dr. Fish PhD, hello and welcome, and thank you for the follow. Welcome to the clutch. Very much appreciated. Agent instructions. The breach to which you are responding has already been mostly contained by an automated system, and containment will be complete when you restart this terminal. However, your orders are to attempt to improve the current containment procedures by any means possible within the time allotted to you. You've been temporarily granted administrative network access from this terminal. Use any resources you deem necessary to fulfill your mission, but do not expose yourself to the cognito hazard in the description. The following terminal details will help you in your task. As noted above, this article ignores the delete command. It cannot be extricated from the database without extensive collateral corruption of the other critical systems. Instead, the containment strategy is to minimize the probability of a user discovering this entry by chance. To this end, an unhaltable mainframe process, ID 900013, repeatedly switches the ordinal designation of this article with that of another randomly selected entry. Normally, when two article numbers are exchanged for administrative purposes, the two entries disappear from the index momentarily. A kernel exploit of processor erratum 23 allows us to delay completion of the subroutine by deeply recursing the article, renumbering with an intentionally terrible algorithm. Currently, bubble sort, stooge sort, bogger sort. Against a known corrupted stack in an extended memory until the thread aborts catastrophically, the index swap completes and the process restarts. This artificially inserts a delay on the order of 10 to the power of 17 clock cycles between visibility, where a link to the article becomes momentarily visible and accessible from the article index before the process repeats. We can go to random quote and get, "I will end you, Mal. I will slap you with a fish until you cease to breathe." I mean, that'll happen. DJ goes for random quote and gets, "I don't need to go down again." He goes for random quote and gets, "Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh, cocknuts, there's 3 of them." And Darth goes for random quote and gets, "Ah, fuck me, Jesus Christ." That sounds like a horror quote. Breach will only occur in the unlikely event that the user with index privileges loads the main list at precisely the correct moment, and despite the need to know best practices, follows the link to this entry. Ignore the warnings and reads past the first paragraph. The intervals between visibility are indeterminate but finite. On average, the interval will grow larger by order of O to the multiplication of n to the power of 2 as the number of available articles grows, but shorter as the mainframe's hot swappable processes increase in flops. This clutch has a gravely serious side effect. The SCP article randomly selected for the swap also disappears from the list for the same period of time, until reappearing under new ID. While O5 has authorized this detrimental effect as an acceptable consequence of containment, you are ordered not to verify it through the chain of command, as no other living person is currently aware that this article, this process, or this authorization exists. If validation is required, an inline O5 authorization of this order follows. Begin authorization key block, and it's just a key code there. End authorization key block. You're subject to summary termination by Tritonite class memetic if you proceed past this point. Dammering eyes only. No, there's nothing else on there. Editor's note. I had to throw that kill sprite together in a hurry. The one constructed and installed by my predecessor was clearly defective. Instead of the donkey kick I expected from a standard inoculation interdiction, I barely registered minor eye strain. Of course, under the circumstances, I suppose we're limited, aren't we? To a contaminated workstation and barely adequate tools. Anyway, if you survive that memetic, hopefully it's because you have the code word clearance, and not because I didn't get it right either. In that case, you'll probably look boned pretty bad, and I apologise for not killing you in time. But cut me some slack. When we looked them up 90 minutes ago, the only procedures of this code word read: randomly select one mainframe qualified coder from experimental containment research group with level 3 clearance. Supply the designee with a behemoth class amnestic and dispatch them to the affected terminal. They will find instructions there. If they fail to complete their task within 2 hours, or if upon return they can't remember the year or name of the current US president, terminate. Guess what? That's a pretty small subset of personnel to choose randomly from. Well, Spock smashes scissors, but paper disproves Spock. So now in return for containment duty, I get to blow a sizable chunk of my life out of my skull. At least I won't have to remember them processing the looky-loo who caused this breach. Assuming you're ECRG like me, you've never heard of Dammering before today either. Here's what I can tell you. From the look of the source code and comments, you're probably the 4th or 5th to respond to this thing since inception. I made a couple of minor edits to the documentation above, but mostly spent my time trying to slow the algorithm with the worst patterns I could think of. In the end, I was only able to de-optimize the existing recursion by a factor of 2. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about the underlying hardware or how often users follow from unfamiliar links from the mail list to guess how much of a difference that makes. I'm sure in the first implementation, they thought they'd have 5, maybe 10 years between breaches. But I know that for a fact that they introduced at least one quantum processor to the grid, which will depreciate this approach faster than you can say redacted. Hopefully, you've got a better idea for a slower algorithm than I, or at least all the last 3 did. Maybe upgrade to a quantum bogger sort of the article numbers. On this hardware, that might technically be an XK algorithm and therefore forbidden. I don't know. I've used up most of my time already, and I can't risk another recompile in the few minutes remaining before I have to commit these changes and wash down the stick of dynamite with warm, backwashy Mountain Dew. Andrew's out. P.S. I guess I got to thinking that my brain was hosed either way, so what the hell, I don't know why, but I just went ahead and did it. Couldn't help myself really. Resist the urge. It's clearly a fridge class cognito hazard, and it's always starting to sink in, so this horse pill better work right quick. There's a bunch of... I'm going to say Greek at the bottom of that one. Also, a plaything. Begin recording. Microphone tapping, chair sliding. There you go, ma'am. The interpreter is new technology, but it will allow you to forego the use of a keyboard for article creation. Just speak naturally into the microphone. We can go back and revise any errors after you've finished. I don't think so, young man. There won't be time. This must also be a permanent record. Access restricted to L3s and up. Can you prevent anyone from tampering this entry later? Anyone, ma'am? Anyone and everyone. You understand me. If there's ever but one article left in the database, this had better be it. While I'm not senior enough to select the most appropriate technique to accomplish that, maybe if we got Gephardt involved, I want you to make an executive decision. I'm confident in your ability. We cannot delay. Okay. There is a mechanism I can take advantage of. It's actually designed to protect against anonymous data corruption, but it would have the effect you're looking for. If you're certain, ma'am, I could make this section of the article write once and splice into the database runtime. However, that means no editing whatsoever will be possible. If you misspeak, you'll just have to clarify and keep going. Very well, do so. Fortunately, I am a world-class dictator. For the degree of security you have in mind, ma'am, I'll need to borrow your credentials token. Thank you. One moment, please. Keyboard sounds. There, that's done it. You've been very helpful, that will be all. For your own safety, I'm ordering you to obtain amnestic treatment as soon as possible. Enough to forget this entire morning. Do you understand? I do. Good. You'll likely be subjected to enhanced interrogation within a day or two. It will go easier for you if you have no memory of this. Oh boy. As a literal token of my gratitude for your loyalty, why don't you hold on to those credentials? I won't be needing them. If you act quickly, I suspect you can think of a way to put them to good use before they are revoked and you get detained. Yes, ma'am. Now go. I see that you have a fine career ahead of you. We will not speak again. Thank you, ma'am. Goodbye. Hello and welcome. Greetings on a hardening seasonally moist. Well, that makes 3 of us, if you count them individually. Door opening, closing, extended sigh. My name is Miriam Prather. I have been 057 for 77 years. I will remain so for perhaps 7 minutes more. There's not enough time to devise adequate special containment procedures myself. I leave that to you. Over the course of my tenure, I have witnessed 19 distinct anomalous methods to restore life. The devices and entities responsible take vastly... I'm being fished. Or at least this SCP mark is being fished. Devices and entities responsible take vastly different forms. When you look past the science, the magic, the razzle-dazzle, there are fundamentally 2 broad but simple categories. The first type is replication, whereby a clone, simulacrum, or other copy is made of the subject's mind and body, as it existed at some point during life. The second sort is temporal, where this approach to the space-time paths of the subject's continuant particles are reversed, and events literally undone until the subject is restored to a functional state. These 2 categories have a crucial commonality. The restored individual has no memory or experience of death. To put it another way, despite 2.4 million years of hominid speculation, Foundation records contain no reliable first-hand testimony regarding what happens to us after we die. We have other sources of information, naturally, but in light of recent events, I believe that the SCPs we've interrogated on this topic over the years are guilty of either ignorance or deceit. For you, see, we invented an exception. 6 months ago, we resurrected Roger Sheldon, formerly 0511, with a novel procedure. The theoretical groundwork had existed for some time, but for a litany of reasons, the complexity of the process, the technical skill required, the systematic risks, not to mention the enormous costs, only the rest, we justified the attempt. At 73, Roger was the youngest overseer when he died. He had 2 habits that were peculiar for an 05, only marginally tolerated by the rest of us at the time, and now forbidden. The first was an obstinate refusal to fortify, as we call it, to enhance his longevity with the supplements available to those of our station. The second was a penchant for taking his holidays unannounced and in utter solitude. When stroke ended him 18 years ago, he was perched on a rocky promontory above marine iguana nesting grounds on Hispaniola Island. It took 14 years to find his remains. We would not have gone on looking for so long, but for 2 reasons. He kept on his person a certain key, of which I shall not say more, except that it could not be allowed to stay lost, and that he held in his brain a secret word, without which we could not replace him. The alternating Galapagos rains and bright sun and perhaps hawks have reduced him to a mouldering ruin of bone fragments and only the stubbornest sinew. The recovery crew used brooms and bags to collect as much from him as remained. The artifact was retrieved to our relief, but we were still faced with the daunting task of extracting his shibboleth. With so little original material to work with, none of the time-tested methods of recovery were feasible. It distresses me to say so, but it is unlikely that any records of our methodology will survive the impending purge. Suffice to say that having gathered his diaspora, we set out to reconstruct a quantum approximation of him, physically, chemically, electrically, with sufficient accuracy that his heart would resume its beat, his synapses would fire, and his mouth would move, if briefly. As we required but one iota of information from him, we hoped at best that he would survive long enough to provide it, and then simply expire again. However, as is so often the case, we outdid ourselves. All the king's horses and all the king's men could indeed put him back together again. Roger was perfectly reanimated. He emerged from his cocoon looking a bit younger and healthier than my last memories of him. He sobbed uncontrollably for some time, unresponsive to any stimulus, yet after about half an hour he relaxed, his expression suddenly turned to utter serenity, and he spoke two unintelligible but clearly joyous words. He was swiftly interrogated, but he responded to our questioning with candour, enthusiasm, and unmistakable relief. We kept him under quarantine in a containment unit for 30 days. He offered no objection and cooperated completely. He behaved as any of us might under the circumstances, and in the end, after some light debate, we unanimously restored him to office. We were the ones who remade him after all, and we wouldn't each of us expect the same. He rewarded our hubris by resuming his duties with inspired vigour, consistently displaying deeper insight and wisdom than ever before. In particular, we welcomed some of the changes to his habitats as soon as the rest of us allowed it. He began regular fortification treatments for the first time. He appointed a sensible entourage of medical staff and bodyguards that were never far from his person. Previously, empathy for his fellow man had never been his strong suit, yet suddenly he displayed renewed interest in the safety of our containment protocols, the healthcare benefits of Foundation employees, and a profound distaste for the sacrifice of D-Class. Under the circumstances, none of this struck as a particularly alarming behaviour. But it should have. He concealed the crux of it from us all, you see. At first, naturally in our initial interrogation, we'd asked him if he'd had any experience or memory of the afterlife. He claimed to recall nothing, exactly as everyone always does, and defeated our polygraphs completely. He approached me first. About 2 months ago, he asked if in his absence we'd obtained any pieces, which I shouldn't have had to point out, it is not our term of art, capable of sustaining life indefinitely. While breathtaking longevity is now within our power, it may surprise you to learn that immortality is not, and our best theoreticians have recently posited that it will never be attainable. The resurrections we can accomplish, even his, cannot be repeated more than once or twice. Sapient life is necessarily entwined with quantum uncertainty. Localize a particle with a perfect precision, and it attains infinitely uncertain momentum, lost in an instant. Just so, the longer and more tightly a consciousness is bound to a specific vessel, the more likely it will scatter irretrievably on its own. Regardless of science, magic, or razzle-dazzle, you, your children, and your great-great-grandchildren will one day most assuredly die and stay dead. His disappointment at this theorem was palpable, and I experienced a momentary discomfort at his reaction. Thank you for the hydration, Reminder Wigram. Not a week later, 052 received word of a severe breach of protocol. Roger, or rather 0511, had initiated direct contact with an APE in containment. For you L3s, APE skips are apex tier pluripotent entities. I imagine you can work out the euphemism. We kept our initial investigation off the books. He'd been clever in covering his tracks. There was no breach alarm, no record of the encounter in any log, but one of the skip's guards failed a random amnestic test, to his dismay, and that was trail enough on which he set our bloodhounds. We couldn't prove it, but we imagined he risked exposure to the skip to offer some kind of deal. This could not stand, as two of his oldest comrades, today O2 and I, confronted him privately, but he caught us off guard, for he confessed everything and begged us for help. Excuse me. I surreptitiously recorded his pleas as a precaution. It's easiest if I simply replay it for you now. Device clicks. I dared not speak of this at first. You'd never let me out of containment. The truth is, I was aware of it all. I suppose there was a sweet oblivion, like deep sleep at first, but in retrospect, I think it was no more than a day. Slowly but unmistakably, I reoccupied my corpse with dreamlike consciousness. None for the first merciful hours, blind, deaf, and immobile, but then I seemed to reconnect to every nerve and became aware of every sensation, more so than I ever was in life. I perceived myself trapped within an immovable object, and the intensity of the struggling amplified, subtle, then acute, then racking. I can't describe it completely, but imagine holding your breath, beyond urge, beyond pain, beyond desperation, head throbbing and eyes bulging, a dream of suffocation without end. My skin blistered and split in the sunlight. Biting incense descended rapidly. I felt eggs hatch, larvae crawl, gases build and burst within me. Individual cells rupturing, interstitial fluids souring and blackening. Somehow my capacity to experience and store these sensations grew, even as I was keenly aware of my cerebrum being scattered and devoured. My perception expanded into the gizzards of birds and the depths of fire ant dens. I was aware of every fingernail and strand of hair that pulled away in the wind, and my sensation clung to them as if they settled in the ocean and dissolved in the maws of 1 trillion diatoms. I don't understand it. The more bits of me there were, the larger my capacity for the perception of pain. As I decayed into pieces smaller than living nerves could possibly distinguish, the character of the discomfort changed. From burning and aching and breaking, I might relate to you in human terms, to something worse than I cannot fully articulate, a terrible, maddening stretching of every part of myself from every other part. Humans often numb to chronic pain in life, do they not? Yet every year, every month, every second that passed, I swear it only intensified over time. In my previous life, I ruminated on heaven and hell, and the likelihood of my experiencing one, the other, or something in between. As terrible as I imagined the torpor of heaven or the torments of hell to be, this was entirely different from either. In hell at least there would surely be a tormentor, some memory of my deeds, some sense of justice, even if my soul rejected its logic. I can imagine some comfort in hell for a mind such as mine. I do not think this is a punishment. I do not think it is caused. I deeply suspect it is simply our condition, our nature to go on this way, do you see? In all that time, I was certainly absolutely totally alone, and before long all memory of life had shriveled to a cinder, lost beneath my interminable anguish. Alive again, I suspect I cannot quite recall the worst of it, as if my living brain is too small for the experience. As overseers, we witness, inflict, or endure great suffering, yet what awaits us is all is worse. The way an earache is worse than a bee sting. The way frostbite is worse than a burn. I was dead for 18 years, and my misery eludes description. Dare we try to fathom the collective agony of legions of ancient dead? Believe this, I will not return to the execrable existence. Not 100 years from now, not ever. Yes, I approached Iron Man for help. I'm sure he could extend us all if he wished. I offered him great concessions from the Foundation, even perhaps release. But he laughed and refused. Yes, I can think of others willing to trade on a similar scale, though the price may be nearly as... No, nothing compares. Anything is better, so long as it's forever. Do you believe me? Will you join me and together escape this fate? Please. Device clicks off. We were dumbfounded and suddenly sympathetic, and an instant later, fearful. Can't remember the last time I felt my heart race so. But we do not operate in a vacuum. A revelation of this magnitude must be brought before the Council for consideration. He was loath to admit his deception before the assembled Council, but he was clearly desperate for action as well. We prevailed upon him to call an immediate emergency session in teleconference. I knew anything less would constitute treachery. Still, as the three of us hurried to conference room Alpha, I suddenly found myself harboring several thoughts of... So he gave his testimony again, nearly as frank and purpley prosaic as before, but the debate that unfolded in the wake of it, I have never witnessed anything like it. There were mostly sceptical voices at first, calm, concerned, and thoughtful. However, 058, whose face had grown increasingly pale as she listened to him, was suddenly a passionate advocate for action. We must declare human death a Cater SCP, she demanded, and contain it at any cost. That absurdity garnered an uproar, of course, but Roger had himself a sure ally now, and this spurred him on, shouting over the others to add even darker details of the intensity of his perennial excruciation. Imagery I cannot repeat, sensations I must not contemplate. I'm feeling lightheaded. O2 is always a moderate influence. Suggested we recess and collect ourselves, but then 3 suddenly moved that we order the immediate systematic termination of dangerous skips to better protect ourselves and others. 056 seconded, but before it could be put to a vote, 13 suddenly clutched his chest in paroxysmal pain and was being evaluated by his medical technician when his feed abruptly cut out. As the fracas came to a broil, it was 10, I think, who next convinced. Oh, I believe the key. Is belief the key? It doesn't matter. At any rate, 10 started pounding his shoe on the table and hollering that we must dig a channel from the Astrakhan Spring to the Mediterranean Sea to fortify all of mankind. That was enough. Suddenly 051 muted us all and stood, red-faced and shaking. Regardless of the truth of 0511's experience, she said, it is plain that we have lost all reason. There's only one possible explanation for this. Therefore, I'm declaring Emergency Protocol 17. Remain where you are. We shall all be administered Class A amnestics. Except you, Roger. We made a grave error releasing you from containment, and it will be corrected. She pointed at her administrative assistant to act, but before he could lock down the conference room from which 211 and I were dialed in, Roger had already bolted out the door. I was after him in an instant and nearly crushed by the bulkhead as it slammed into place. I only wanted to stop him, I think. And now I was outside the safe room too, but he was already out of sight. Superlative idiot. They couldn't see me, couldn't hear me. They couldn't know I wanted back in. How badly I wanted to breathe the red gas that was surely already streaming into the room on the other side. One instant of poor judgment and my fate is sealed. Now that I know what's in store, what was left to do? I ran to the help desk. Help enough, eh? For this, my final act. I love the Foundation, and I would have loved a daughter. I do this for security and protection of mankind, and so I beg you, this gnosis must not be erased, forgotten. That is not containment. That is madness. Bring us back. Get us out. I'm so frightened. What's wrong with me? Door bursting open. Automatic gunfire from 3 distinct sources. Clear! 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 God damn this job. Bang that Oscar quickly, Sergeant. We still have one to go. Site breach alarm sounds. What now, Specialist? Talk to me. Sir, I'm getting a report of a cater breach in the AR-12 compound. Oh, hell. 2 rogue Oscars and on top of it. Now the old man is on the loose. It's a shit sandwich, sir. Contain that chanister, Sergeant. Stand by, sir. Negative on 106 escaping. I'm still getting details. Say again, please. It's the other way round. The other Oscar, he went in. Sir, he went in. The hell he did. They have visual confirmation, sir. Procedures dictate that we treat him as KI specialist, I know. Let's finish here, then. Sir, this Oscar is recording equipment here. It's still running. For the love of... Shut it down, Sergeant. Shut it down now. Specialists get the auto-hazard team. I'm down here on the double. End recording. And for that Greek bit, I'm going to throw out at Google Translate and see if it says something. If the stream abruptly stops, you know it's going to fuck something. Detect language. It is Greek, and it translates to, Roger, you have been honoured. I will bless you in heaven. Oh, fuck. Well, that was one. Jesus. I'm not sure what to do at this point in time. I've still got 2 SCPs to do. One's a fairly short one, and the other is... could probably also be short, but it looks like it's got some additional files, so, yeah. Oh, I just realised I hadn't even updated that last one. Oh, well. Let me pop on the guidelines and change that around to... So this current one is 085. The next one would be 5500. I need to take a quick bathroom break, and then I will have a decision on what I'm doing. Shelf later, so I think I probably will. But yeah, Lydia, if you're still here in that, you know, feel free to start things on your side up and whatnot, and I will get things sorted out if you are still wanting to do the Monster Hunter Rise community night, that is. But yeah, I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Right, I return. Yeah, with only 6 minutes left, I will pop a note onto my SCP red list. And 500. These two SCPs that I've got left to go, I will be putting on the next time I do an SCP re-record stream, which, in fairness, the next one has 7 SCPs on it. So, should be alright. But yeah. Let me just get some things up. That is really not what I was trying to do. Ooh. Okay. Thank you, Phoenix, for your contribution to our Game Stream Challenge. Let's now put it at halfway done. Over halfway. But yeah, that's where I'm going to be ending things for now. I am waiting to see if Lydia's going to be starting up the Monster Hunter Rise Community Night, or what's happening with that. Don't know. Your mum was about falling asleep. Do you want to have a nap instead of the community nights, Lydia? We will not blame you if that's what you would prefer to do. Because, you know, it's hot as fuck. Oh, no. Is that no to streaming? Toik know what I mean. Are you sure? If you're going to go and set up, then completely fine. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but you sound very tired. Cool. Emails I need to look at. Yeah. Well, if the video is good to be going on, then we will be going over and raiding her, and I will be taking part in the Monster Hunter Community Rise. Monster Hunter Community Rise. Words. She'll be playing Monster Hunter Rise doing the community night. Lyd and I will Ride and I will be there. Oh, my brain's just not going right now. Sounds like I'm not the only one who needs a nap. Could always use a nap. Always. Last thing. Kepper, you didn't even come up in the SCPs. But all the containment breaches are your fault. So with that in mind, fuck off, Kepper. Yeet! Anyway. Alright, let's see. Special thanks this stream goes to Small Bean Gamer and Dr. Fish PhD for the follows. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Welcome to the clutch. Next stream from me is going to be tomorrow at 11:30 AM EST, which is 4:30 PM BST, where I will be starting off Transistor. Yeah. And then in the evening, we'll be doing we'll be starting off the second bit of Metro Exodus's DLC, Sam's story, and seeing how that goes along. Jet lag back, yeah, for sleeping in bed. God. Thank you, Darth, for your contribution to the Live Game Stream Challenge. And I'm literally just waiting for Lydia to go live, and I will pop the raid over. Move this over here and just get this ready as well. Put that there. Yeah, it should be fine. Cool. Lydia playing. Little pop-up saying Lydia's now playing Monster Hunter Rise. This is definitely indication that she is planning on doing exactly that. Okay, raid command is all ready to go. I'm just waiting out. I'm just waiting for. What pisses you off? PC updated. Oh, God. I hate it when PC updates. All your games load in full screen. Oh, I really hate when an update just resets a load of your settings, especially like that. Sorry, I hate that, Lydia. I've just seen what Mal posted in memes on my Discord. What the fuck? Two rooms in DRG. Egg hunt. Do not join if you're a spider. I'm afraid of spiders. Elimination. Glyphosate so tight it will make you nut Morkite. The Deep Rock Galactic community is very strange. Compiling shaders. Compile faster! Yeah, there's no rush to get everything done and ready, especially when there's been an update that's happened.
So you to press enter, it'll start putting the raid through. Ugh.
NVIDIA GeForce has a grand habit of setting everything to full steam around updates. Yep. I'd be annoyed with it as well if I wasn't on the sort of setup I am, where I've got all my gaming on this monitor. So it just stays full screen. So when it says like, oh yeah, we're just going to put everything back to full screen, it's like, it already was. But when you don't have multiple monitors, it's a bastard. It's an absolute friggin' bastard. All right, starting. Awesome. Oops. Pop the raid thing on. Awesome. So it's now getting ready to do the thing. And yes, there's the startup. We'll just pop through it. I believe she's changing the title and category as we speak. But yeah, so we'll be going over there for the Monster Hunter Rise Community Night. But until then, I'll pause my setting. I have 2 monitors now because of that full screen. Yeah, this is why I've got 4. Really massively helps. But yeah, so thank you all very much for coming along, for your support. It's all greatly appreciated in whatever way you've chosen to show it. I already said about the next stream when that's going to be. So I can actually think of what I need to say in passing. But yeah, let's go over to Lydia, give her the love and appreciation that she deserves because she's awesome, and you'll be hearing me in the stream as well because it's time to Rise Community Night. I should probably I do have Steam open. Awesome. Well, Steam is running. So yeah, we'll be joining her in there. So yeah, until then, thank you all very much for coming along, and until next time, have yourself a good rest of your day, a good night, a good evening, a good morning, or good afternoon. Well, the time is for you. Till next time, stay safe, stay amazing, and see you later. Raid!